I'm Lynn Gray, Chair of the Hillsborough County School Board. I want to welcome you to Hillsborough County Public Schools. We serve more than 200,000 students. That includes children in preschool through our Adults in Our Workforce program.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stacy Hahn, the Board Vice Chair. Our district is the 7th largest in America, and our team is made up of more than 24,000 people working at nearly 250 sites across the county.
We are diverse and dedicated. Our board meetings are held in our board auditorium on select Tuesdays at 4 p.m. The best way to serve our students and our community is to involve you, the public, in what we do.
You are welcome to email or meet with any of our board members and follow our district on social media. Board meetings are covered live by Hillsborough Schools TV on Spectrum Cable Channel 635 and Frontier Cable Channel 32.
Meetings are streamed on our website at hillsboroughschools.org. Closed captioning is provided on all broadcasts, and past meetings are available in our online archives.
We are interested in what the public has to say. We'll include time for audience comments before we address our business items. Our agenda and any supporting materials can be viewed online in advance. They're posted 7 days before each meeting on our website at hillsboroughschools.org.
Our vision is preparing students for life, and that means all students, every day. Todos los estudiantes, todos los días. Thank you for your interest in education. With your help, we're making decisions that shape our community's future.
Good afternoon. The school board meeting for March 9th will now begin and is called to order. Member Hahn will now lead us in a reflective moment. Dr. Hahn?
Thank you, Chairwoman Gray. Bless this meeting today, all those present, as well as the lives of those we will encounter afterward. Ready us to make every moment count, strengthen our confidence, and set us free from comparison in order to work together efficiently this afternoon. Help us to endure disagreement and strife with courage and understanding. Amen. I also want to take a moment to remember an officer lost in our community. We want to share our heartfelt condolences with the Tampa Police Department and the family of Master Patrol Officer Jesse Madsen. Earlier this morning, Officer Madsen was killed in the line of duty in a horrific car crash. Officer Madsen was a 45-year-old married father of 3 who dedicated his life to the safety and service of this community and our nation. He was a United States Marine, combat veteran, and for the past 16 years, a Tampa police officer. As our community mourns the loss of Master Patrol Officer Jesse Madsen, we pray for comfort for his family, friends, and colleagues, and pray for the eternal peace of Officer Madsen. Thank you. Please stand for the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Member Hahn, will you please acknowledge our student entertainment today?
Absolutely. How wonderful was it to walk into this meeting tonight and hear that beautiful jazz ensemble outside playing. I want to thank Steinbrenner High School Jazz Ensemble for performing before our board meeting. It was really lovely entertainment before the meeting. So proud of our students. Their talents are amazing. And if you didn't catch the performance before the board meeting, it's posted on our district Twitter account, and you can catch the performance there. So thank you again to all the students and the teachers and the parents for that beautiful, beautiful melody that we heard tonight. Ms. Gray and I were certainly enjoying the music before the meeting. Thank you.
Indeed, Member Hahn, it set the tone for our evening tonight. We have so much excitement and really a lot of fantastic good news for the most part. Meanwhile, we need to adopt the agenda. I need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. I have a motion by Member Perez and a second by Member Snively. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, please vote when your lights appear. Okay, all members voted unanimously. Thank you. Let the record reflect that all board members are present either in the boardroom or in the back room. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we have 4 sets of minutes to be approved today. We have January 12th school board meeting and January 12th school board workshop, January 26th school board workshop, and February 9th school board workshop. I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes. I have a motion by Member Vaughn and a second by Member Snively. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote when your lights are on. Thank you, board members. It is unanimous. Board members, I would like to go over the format for today's meeting. We are permitting up to 50 people to be present in the boardroom. Given the size and orientation of the boardroom, we can do this safely. Members of the public may sit in every third seat in the auditorium. As a reminder, this is a nonpartisan board, and the number one priority is the welfare of our students. Members, you will have 3 minutes to speak with 30 seconds for final thoughts. You will hear the bell after 3 minutes. This includes a response from the superintendent and/or staff. If you are still not satisfied with the answer or have additional questions, please get back in the queue or, of course, ask staff for more clarification. Board guidelines. Member Hahn, will you now read the board guidelines?
Thank you, Member Gray. As we begin this afternoon's meeting, let me quickly review the format of our school board meetings. Please silence all electronic devices. There are speakers in the room behind me that allow board members to hear the meeting upon stepping away from the dais. This meeting can be viewed with closed captioning on the live webcast, on cable TV, and on video monitors right here in the auditorium. It also can be viewed with closed captioning in the online video archive.
Okay. And we have one item scheduled for time certain, and that is the 6 p.m. employee input. The board welcomes public comment. It welcomes comments from citizens and values your input to the board. In order to provide the most comprehensive response to your comments, our staff will follow up with you and will keep our board informed about the responses. Our school board respects the public's right to speak to the board, and we appreciate you taking the time to be here. However, it is requested when you address the board, you are not directing to any of us personally against a specific board member or staff member, but rather directed at the issues at hand. Any behavior intended to interrupt the orderly conduct of this meeting will not be allowed. Our civility policy is in place. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly into the microphone. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. Oh, excuse me. This time I think we have 22 speakers, so we will have 2 minutes for each speaker. I will now call up the first speakers. Tamara Schamberger, Melissa Erickson, Allison Fernandez, followed by Alan Brewster. And Mr. Figueroa will be cleaning the podium after each speaker.
Good afternoon, board member, superintendent, staff, and of course my very favorite, Mr. Porter. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. Because I only have 2 minutes, let me just get straight to the point. Today I'm here to really just finish up some unfinished business. As you may recall, in August of last year, I initiated my Culturally Diverse Reading Classrooms Library project. After several teachers reached out and wanted to receive culturally diverse reading material for their classrooms, and so I then turned to the community. And so we turned to the community asking for support for about 50 teachers to raise a couple $1,000 so we could at least get them a couple of books to start their libraries. Well, with the overwhelming support of the community and amazing organizations like the Alliance for Public Schools and Allstate Insurance Company, I'm very, very pleased today to announce that we have ordered and received $20,000 in culturally diverse reading material that will supply over 250 elementary classrooms here in Hillsborough County with a full set, 5 to 7 books for their classrooms. And so we're very excited about that today. Now, while that is far more than we anticipated or what we set out to achieve, it really is just a drop in the bucket. And so we're asking those of you who wanted to support, who may not have had an opportunity to do so, or those of you who now want to support, there's still an opportunity to support this campaign. We want to make sure that every classroom in Hillsborough County at every level has culturally diverse reading material. And so with that, the next speaker will talk about how we're going to distribute the books and how you can continue to donate to this very worthy cause. And lastly, I just want to thank you, Dr. Hahn, for being a champion of literacy throughout Hillsborough County. And as a token of appreciation, I'd like to donate to your next literacy fair this stack of culturally diverse books. And I look forward to working with you, especially at your upcoming East Tampa Fair. Thank you for all that you do, everybody. Thanks for having
me. Next, we'll hear from Melissa Erickson, then Allison Fernandez, then Alan Brewster. Following that is Candace Enriquez.
Just to finish up the logistics part of what Ms. Schamberger said, I first do want to thank Ms. Schamberger for including us as the nonprofit that did this undertaking. I want to thank her for connecting us to the Allstate Foundation that started us off with over $6,000 in donations. They even included us on their Giving Tuesday website nationally and internationally because we got donations from the United Kingdom for this project. And so after spring break, we will put up and distribute to teachers a way that they can sign up to be one of the 250 classrooms that get this book. And I want to thank Mr. Davis for agreeing to help us get those books out all over. And I really just, I think I love books. I had a delivery truck show up at my house with a pallet of books. So I'm super excited, and I really just want to thank Hillsborough County Schools for the opportunity to continue to support you. It's been difficult, as we're socially distant, to feel like we're having a real impact in the classroom. So this is a way to finish up work that we started this summer and get something good out to kids. So thank you very much.
And next we'll have Allison Fernandez, followed by Alan Brewster, Candace Enriquez, and then Damaris Allen.
Good afternoon, school board members. I'm Allison Fernandez, and I am here to ask you about fiscal accountability and what you are doing. It's my understanding that many of our school sites have been overspending their budget, and I do understand that there have been many different funding cuts, et cetera, but where is the analysis that compares their actual to budget every single month? A business would do this. A business can run out of money. You all are spending my money, and I want to know, why was this analysis not ever done? We should have known much sooner that our school sites were overspending, and we should have been taking measures to address this. So who is responsible for performing this analysis every single month, and also the budget process? When I served on Temple Terrace City Council, which is much smaller and a smaller budget, we still had every single department chair stand in front of us, or department manager, stand in front of us as a council and explain why their budget consisted of the dollars that they were requesting and what they were doing and why they needed them. So again, that's a question that I would like you all to answer. Where is this analysis for when we're establishing the budget to make sure they are real numbers, and I know that you mentioned something about using units. Units should correspond to dollars. So there still should not be an issue with managing by unit and overspending dollars. So thank you for hearing me.
Thank you so much. Next will be Alan Brewster, Candace Enriquez, Damaris Allen, followed by Diane Klein. Welcome.
Welcome. Alan Brewster, board member, superintendent. I want to talk about leadership's decisions and their actions. When leadership makes decisions and their actions does not line up with Hillsborough County schools policies and procedures, it is detrimental to students' mental health. I want to use my daughter as an example. My daughter last year was a 6th grader. She wrote a letter speaking out against the teacher's actions, the comments that he made about the students were not smart, they should be ashamed of themselves. And my daughter was retaliated on by the area superintendent and the principal. They decided to move a straight A student with no behavior issues to a lesser academic class. And to this day, right now, my daughter is always telling me and my wife she don't want to go back to school. She doesn't want to go. And it's been hard on her. Anxiety has been elevated. She thinks about that situation all the time just because she spoke out. And she was punished for speaking out. And that is detrimental to students' mental health. That decision should have never been made. Neither one of the principal or the area superintendent spoke with the psychologist to see if that was the best decision. Once again, what the leadership does affects students' mental health.
Thank you. Superintendent Davis, can we have a staff member discuss this with Mr. Brewster? Thank you. Okay, next we have Candace Enriquez, followed by Damaris Allen, then Diane Klein. Oh, okay. Damaris, come on up. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to meet here before you today. First, I wanted to thank Dr. Hahn. As most of you know, I'm the chair of this Citizens Advisory Committee for the school board. And last month, she brought in the strategic plan to be discussed at the school board meeting. At the CAC meeting. And it was so valuable to be able for us to be able to hear, to discuss, and to be able to give feedback on the plan as it was presented. And so one of the things I want to do today is to encourage you to bring that to the community. Widen the net. When you have public and community buy-in, it makes all the difference in the plan. There's a reason you brought it to the CAC, because our feedback is valuable, but the same is true of other parents and community partners and students. And so I encourage you at every chance to bring that before the public, to get buy-in and to get feedback. It is so important in the success of that plan, especially as it continues on, because we all know strategic plans are living and breathing documents that need to be amended occasionally based on what happens. And so that's going to be important throughout the process. So the other thing I want to talk about has nothing to do with the CAC, and I do not represent the CAC when I say this, so let me be clear. So what I want to talk to you about is first to thank you for masks, and I want to encourage you and ask you to continue them. This has allowed our students to be in school safely, and it is so, so important. My son, who didn't go to, both of my kids had e-learned, and my youngest son takes multiple AP classes and multiple band classes and was really struggling. I say struggling, I use that word generously. He still had A's, but in his perception he was struggling. And because of masks and because his classes were able to be somewhat social distanced, he felt safe to go back to school. And that has helped him significantly. And I know there are more kids like mine, so I encourage you to continue keeping us all safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. And then we're going to go back to Candace Enriquez, followed by Diane Klein, Elena Gershman, and Gavila Gonzalez. Welcome.
Hello, School Board. I want to begin by taking a moment just to send my respects for your position in our community. I know that there's a lot of pressure on you this year, and I know that creating decisions around COVID-19 is something you probably never dreamt of. Yet here we are, a year later, and we're still navigating this extremely difficult situation. Every single person in this room has had some challenge because of COVID, some bigger than others. And we shouldn't compare those struggles as if they were war scars. We instead could choose to honor each other and acknowledge that this has been hard. And kindly admit that it has been hard and very difficult for our children. And I'm wondering if we can humbly begin the discussion of when we will consider removing the mask mandate for school children. I am most concerned about their mental well-being, and I'm curious to know if there's balance in the decision making, and if the school board is actively discussing these things with child psychologists and child development specialists. Is the school board weighing this when they're taking this into account? And are we, what started as a short-term solution, now this kind of seems like a long-term solution because we're 8 months in. And every child responds differently to the mask. So I'm going to leave you with a few things from Aaron Weiner, PhD, board-certified clinical psychologist. He says the psychological aspect of mask we need to be most worried about for our children is that they internalize the idea that the world outside and the people living in it are inherently dangerous. This perspective can lead to long-lasting anxiety disorders and difficulty with their ability to function socially after the guidelines are lifted. So I'm just wondering what you guys are doing to mitigate that and what steps are being put into place to deal with that aspect of mask wearing.
Thank you. And now we'll hear from Diane Klein, followed by Elena Gershman, followed by Gatila Gonzalez, then Julia Miller.
Good
Welcome.
afternoon. Hi. I'm Diana Klein. I'm here today to be a voice for the students of Hillsborough County who don't have a voice. The students in this county are suffering because of your unconstitutional, unwarranted mask mandate that has reached a level of criminality. We, the people in Hillsborough, did not elect the CDC or Tampa General executives to represent us in our government. We did not elect them or any school board members to be our medical consultants. You need to cease and desist your destructive, militant, unwarranted prison rule of mask wearing and social distancing on the students. There is plenty of scientific research from doctors all over the world who have testified that coronavirus is not a threat to anyone's health and safety because there is a 99% recovery rate. In February, Superintendent Addison Davis went to the Super Bowl celebration here in Tampa completely maskless. And Mayor Castor has been seen repeatedly over town completely maskless. So it's apparent that the leaders in Hillsborough County know that the coronavirus or any of its so-called variants are not a threat to anyone's health and safety. I find it amusing that for decades I've heard many people criticize the homeschool community for taking their children out of public schools, claiming that homeschooled students don't develop their social skills. Yet here you are forcing the students to learn to be antisocial. What a racket. You are the ones damaging the students' emotional, psychological, and mental health with your antisocial agenda that makes students feel that it's a crime for them to socialize with their peers. Stop this insanity now. Otherwise, I appeal to every parent in this county to completely remove their children from this corrupt school system and find a homeschool environment that will help them educate their children in a loving and caring environment where they will thrive. And I welcome everyone to contact me at dianasnews.com. That's dianasnews.com. Thank you.
Diana, I apologize. I called you a little bit too soon for your talking. I apologize. Okay, next we will go to Elena Gershman, then Gatillo Gonzalez, Julia Miller, Kristen Castellano.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
I'm a resident of Hillsborough County since 2007. My name is Elena Gershman. I'm a mother of 3 boys. My older son has attended Hillsborough Public Schools for 7 years, and my middle son was supposed to start kindergarten in August of 2020. However, on July 7th, 2020, Superintendent Davis announced, and I quote, "I have decided to require face coverings for our students, teachers, and staff where social distancing is not possible for the start of the upcoming school year." Mr. Davis did not leave me a choice but to pull my children out of Hillsborough County Public Schools. When it comes to my children's physical and mental health, I rely on scientific peer-reviewed studies and do my own research. Based on my research, I found out that there is a direct correlation between lack of cell oxygenation and cancer. Our organs are made of tissues. Tissues made of cells. When newly formed cells are not well oxygenated, they turn into cancer cells because they cannot produce energy using oxygen. Therefore, they cannot function properly in a human's body. In addition, a recent study that was published in Germany using data on 26,000 children concluded that 29.7% of children reported feeling short of breath, 26.4% being dizzy, and 17.9% were not interested in moving or playing. Also, children's breathing is much quicker because they have little space to exchange the oxygen and carbon dioxide in their lungs. Therefore, they require more oxygen for breathing per minute. Children breathe 20 to 30 breaths per minute versus adults who breathe 12 to 16 breaths per minute. So my question is to the board, are our children being assessed for shortness of breath while they're wearing masks in schools? They're not. As a nurse, I am a registered nurse. I have BSN, graduated 4.0 GPA in July from State College of Florida. I've done a lot of research through my nursing school. As nurses, we are taught to be proactive. Therefore, I'm standing here today because I want to be proactive and prevent children of Hillsborough County from developing serious medical conditions. I strongly believe that all our children are at high risk for developing conditions like cancer and other physical and mental health conditions as a consequence from wearing masks for prolonged periods. Consequences that
Final
cannot...
thoughts. Your time's up.
My time is up?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Thank you. Okay, next, Gatilio Gonzalez, then Julia Miller, Kristen Castellano, and Letty Escalante. Welcome.
How's everybody doing? Yeah, I wasn't going to talk about this, but now I feel like I have to. 526,000 dead in the United States due to the coronavirus. If I'm not mistaken, 31,763 here in Florida. Just saying. Anyway, I'm here for school to prison pipeline. I'm going to keep speaking on the topic. I know it well, having personally been affected by it. Until we have equity in education and discipline, we're doomed to repeat the same mistakes. Black, brown, and Latinx boys need to be viewed as children. And they are not. They need to be stopped being viewed as threats. They need to be afforded the same dignities as their peers in majority white districts. As school board members, you should ask yourselves, why is it that a teenage boy from South Tampa can commit a slew of mistakes without it changing their trajectories in life, right? And yet it's the boys from East and West Tampa who get set back by standardized testing scores and stringent zero-tolerance policies. Just something for y'all to think about. Please focus on dismantling these discriminatory processes that disproportionately affect us so that we no longer lose them to charter schools exempt from any and all accountability and with the discretion to pick and choose which child gets a quality education. Also, consider adopting a curriculum that is free of ethnocentrism. I'd like to thank Tammy Schamberger for her initiative. I didn't know about that with the diverse reading materials, but that's not enough. We need to go into history. I need to know the history of my people. Black people need to know the history of their people so that these children have role models. They know who to look up to. And as far as I'm concerned, history did not begin in 1492. It started way before that. So yeah, hope that we take
at this point
we take the opportunity to create a more inclusive, holistic education system. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Julia Miller, followed by Kristen Castellano, then Letty Escalante, followed by Reverend Marcus Derek White.
Can you hear me? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the school board. My name is Julia Miller, and I'm currently a sophomore at Robinson High School. I'm here today to ask the district to make menstrual products free of charge in public school bathrooms. How appropriate to discuss this today, which is the day after International Women's Day. The issue of period poverty has become more apparent across the country, and Hillsborough County is not immune. First, we know that 1 in 5 girls have either left school early or missed school entirely due to lack of access to menstrual products. New York City public schools have seen increased attendance of 3% among girls after implementing freely accessible tampons and pads in restrooms. Providing these items through a school nurse or the office isn't acceptable because many girls will be too embarrassed to ask or will miss too much class time. The combination of increased attendance and decreased time out of class has helped eliminate the inequity in girls' education. Second, legislation is changing. California, New York, Illinois, New Hampshire, and Virginia have already passed laws requiring schools to offer freely accessible menstrual products. Our own state senator, Lauren Book, has introduced a State Bill 242 called Learning with Dignity, making it mandatory for K-12 schools to provide these products in public school bathrooms in Florida. Lastly, you may ask, how are we going to pay for this? Currently, when using the bathroom, it is expected that toilet paper, soap, and paper towels are available, so we budget for that. Menstrual products are no different. For as little as $5 to $7 per menstruating student per year, schools can provide a sustainable restroom solution to offer these items. I ask you to allow me to work with the administration at Robinson and start a pilot program there. Hillsborough County can lead the way for this important addition to public schools as an example for the state and be on the cutting edge for furthering equality for girls in education. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Kristen Castellano, Letty Escalante, Reverend Marcus / Derek White, followed by Reverend Dr. Glenn Dames.
Thank you for having me. My name's Kirsten. I'm a registered dental hygienist, been in the field for about 17 years. Okay, I'm not here today to declare my frustrations that not one email, phone call, or letter written to all the school board officials were never acknowledged. I'm not here today to point my finger and to blame the school board members for ignoring the copious amounts of scientific, peer-reviewed, and unbiased research proving masks not only can harm a healthy individual, but prove masks do not stop a virus from infecting anyone. I'm not here to point out the myriad of constitutional violations taking place to the American public, and I'm not even here to beg or plead for you to change your minds and to stop the division and virtue signaling. I'm not here to make threats. I'm not here to remind each of you of your oath of office that you took from Article 2, 5B from the Florida Constitution that states, I do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and of the State Board or State of Florida, that I am duly qualified to hold the office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will well and faithfully perform the duties on which I'm now about to enter, so help me God. And then I read a special notation written on this oath that was signed. If you affirm, you may omit, so help me God. This is in 92.52 of the Florida statutes, which leads me to where I'm at today. This is our biggest problem, omitting God. This is what communist countries do, and this is what globalists do. They omit God. Our government is broken and it cannot be fixed. Our country was founded on Judeo-Christian values, and our founding fathers designed the Constitution based on these values. Our country and its government, from the federal level all the way down to the local government that includes also the Hillsborough County School Board. The fact that a person...
Thank you so much for sharing. Time is up. Thank you. Next, we'll have Kristen Castellano. Hi. Thank you. Letty Escalante, Reverend Tom Scott, Reverend Dr. Glenn Dames, followed by Rick Warner. Welcome.
I'm the mother of a wonderful little boy named Oliver, and I'm here to speak on his behalf and that of all children of Hillsborough County. Governor Ron DeSantis held a roundtable discussion in September where he asked Professor of Medicine at Stanford University, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, if schools should require masks. His response: there's a school of thought that if you wear your mask incorrectly, you can actually make things worse. We don't have any evidence at all that masks work in slowing the spread of COVID-19. Unlike properly trained surgeons, children have not learned to suppress the habit of touching their face or rubbing their nose. It's hard enough for us adults. You have a moral and ethical obligation to respond in accordance to these things. According to a study by the University of British Columbia, developmental delay is common in children deprived of normal sensory stimulation. Developmental delay is often seen in children receiving inadequate sensory stimulation. The WHO themselves stated that asymptomatic spread is not a phenomenon of COVID-19. With suicide skyrocketing among our youth, how can you keep promoting these ineffective and, quite frankly, detrimental processes within our schools? Dr. Fauci has recommended that we wear goggles over our eyes to minimize exposure. I don't see anyone here wearing goggles. The CDC most recently recommended that people wear 2 or even 3 masks to minimize the spread, something that has absolutely not been established by the scientific community. When it's the same small number of unelected public officials promoting this, are we really going to continue to give them that power? We elected you to protect the best interests of our children. But the due diligence is not being done here, and we the people are taking notice.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And next we're going to have Reverend Tom Scott, then Reverend Dr. Glenn Dames, followed by Rick Warner. Good evening.
Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, and to this August board, and to our superintendent, Mr. Davis. Let me just say, first of all, tonight, my name is Tom Scott. I am the chairman of the Tampa Bay Coalition of Clergy, which consists of 38 prominent African-American pastors in Hillsborough County with a membership of over 40,000 people. And so we come on behalf, first of all, on behalf of Bishop Matthew Williams, who recently transitioned and passed away. And we want to thank you for inducting him into the Brandon Hall of Fame, where he graduated from and served there. And so we want to thank you for that and for getting him into the Hall of Fame there. Secondly, we are here on behalf of Dr. Jennifer Daines, who I understand is being nominated or promoted to principal. She is well qualified, has a PhD, and we stand in support of that recommendation. And so I just want to come with these gentlemen here, these pastors here, and let you know where we stand and how supportive we are. And again, thank all of you for what you are doing to make our community a better place for our children. And so thank you so very much. And again, thank you and congratulations to all of you that's been reelected.
Thank you. Reverend Dames, would you like a moment? You're next. Good evening. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and to all the school board members. What a delight it is to be here today. I'm absolutely ecstatic to be here, and of course, Superintendent Davis and the fine job that he's doing. I know he's had an incredible task, but he's tried to handle it best he could. Nobody's perfect, but he's doing the best he knows how. I come today, to echo the remarks of my leader, Bishop Tom Scott, on the thankfulness of being Bishop Williams, Matthew Williams, being inducted into the Brandon Hall of Fame. I made that recommendation. I'm so glad that it was approved. I hadn't heard from the principal, but I do know through other sources that it has been done, and I'm ecstatic about that. Bishop was a true leader here, and he is greatly missed. We love him dearly, and his legacy shall live with us forever. He was the pastor of Brown Memorial Church of God in Christ, and he also was a member of the General Board for the Church of God in Christ. So he served with distinction here in this city and in this county. And then it's a poor frog that won't praise their own pond. I won't be called a poor frog. And so, like my leader, Bishop Scott, I echo the sentiments of Dr. Jennifer Dames being nominated, one, as the first woman of color, and two, a woman, the first woman to be to lead the Doris Reddick Elementary School. Additionally, Dr. Dames comes with a Bachelor of Biochemistry. She comes with a Master's in Education and Leadership, a PhD. And in 2021, it will be questioned about whether or not she is qualified to lead. That's sad that a black woman in 2021 is questioned about whether or not she is able to lead when she's been an administrator for 6 years. I'm almost finished. A good preacher closed 3 times. Lastly, I want to say this. With all of her credentials, all of her experience, it is crazy that she is being questioned about whether or not she can lead. But a woman who's only been a substitute teacher can be a school board member and nobody questions her qualifications. Help me understand that. God bless you and have a great day.
Thank you, Reverend Dames. Next, we'll have Rick Warner, followed by Tina Williams, followed by Greta Pontanade. And sorry, Greta, you'll share the correct pronunciation. And followed by Janelle Peterunzes. That will also be corrected, no doubt. Good afternoon, Mr. Warner.
Good afternoon, board members, Superintendent Davis, and those in the audience and on the TV. Talking about budget today, as I usually do, make it short. By the next board meeting on April 13th, we will have actual results from February and March, hopefully an answer to when the CARES 2 funding will arrive, and the detailed rules on what expenses will qualify for that funding. That information should provide a basis for a clear picture of the financial situation. I imagine that without that information, the administration will find it difficult to present a clear picture tonight. As the frustration grows over the lack of information, we need to remember that we all have the same objective of improving the product we deliver to the kids. As we struggle through this budget crisis, we need to consider new strategies to improve the adequacy and the equity of funding, which will facilitate the improvement of our product. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warner, followed by Tina Williams, followed by Greta, then Janelle. And thank you continually, Mr. Figueroa, for helping facilitate a clean, safe podium.
Thank you, and I'd like to correct you. My name is Tina Williams Brewster. As many times as I'm coming here, that's funny to me.
Oh,
but anyway, I came to the board, welcome everyone, to talk about schools. As my husband said earlier, leadership. I'm here to continue to talk about accountability, professionalism, and fiduciary within our Hillsborough County schools. And I looked up the word essential, meaning it's a prerequisite, something necessary. And this is what I have to say about our kids and what's essential for them. E, expecting greatness, always assuming competence in our children. S, singing their praises. Sign up for learning, not just dittoing and copying, but actual learning. Ensure success by teaching mastery. We all know the data, it's public information. Florida's 30 years behind. Why in the age of a pandemic, we are still, with all the technology, we're in the four-door corridor with technology, yet Hillsborough County is continuing to put new software in old computers. Notice students' efforts. tie in real life experiences, not just what Johnny couldn't do, but actual real life experiences. Include the quiet leaders. Oftentimes, just because a kid does not make the loudest noise does not mean he or she is not prepared to be a leader. Leaders come in all different forms. And accept mistakes as learning curves. And last but not least, love your job and your students as your own. If each one of our teachers, staff, and administration would love their children and ask yourself, if I wouldn't do this to my own child, why am I continuing to do this to someone else? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, Greta Pata Alday. I know. Actually, Greta and I do know each other. I should have had a better handle on that name. I apologize.
All right, I'm Ms. Pat Nod. Pat Nod from Robinson High School, current English 2, fused with English 2 ESOL, Reading 2B, ELD 1, ELD 2, ERT. If we get rid of the math mandate, you will find someone else replacing me because I have enough sick days, so let's stop that nonsense right there. But I was going to talk about something else today. I'm not sure I understand the threat for decimating our human capital of teachers and faculty and staff in light of the previous and current COVID relief packages, which allocate at least, I guess, $200 million to Hillsborough County Schools. But the scare tactic is definitely working on teachers who are additionally stressed this year, and now they are worried about having the loss of their jobs. Extra stress for us. But I also wanted to talk today about the importance of electives again. So my second period reading class is filled with about, 2015-year-old boys, and they are not on a football field where they belong, nor do any of them have an elective PE class because it's not offered at my really tiny school. It's complicated. So I attained my certification in health and PE and lots of other things too, because I believe that we need to meet this need for our students. These boys, boys, need PE, and all of their teachers need for them to take PE also. My concern is also packing these remedial academic classes, like reading, electives with up to 35 students is going to be very dangerous and ineffective. There are great electives which help students with their post-secondary lives, such as business certifications, consumer and family science classes, other electives that are good for the soul, such as performing arts like theater, chorus, band, and traditional reading, not reading classes, they're traditional drawing classes. So one thing we've learned from this COVID online experiment is the value of human interaction and face-to-face engagement over placing students in front of computer programs that continually assess their progress. So invest in our communities. Schools are amazing teachers, and the results will be student success. So I'm done?
You're done.
All right, thank you.
Greta Patnop. Here we go. Janelle Pateranzis Ali. Oh, we're going to go right to Zendre Smith, followed by Dorothy Akasunas, and we'll come back to Ally Marie. Okay. Janelle? Good evening.
Petronetz, Mrs. P. I'm the IB Senior English teacher at T.R. Robinson. I'm also the parent of 2 IB grads who had the luck to call me mom in the classroom. I'm here to advocate for the IB program, which is not effectively on the chopping block, but by cutting the IB counselor and the IB coordinator position, it is effectively on the block. So I want to remind the board of the IB program's value. Through the IB program, both my children and my students have received a unique education that helps them develop strong academic, social, emotional characteristics. As you know, IB students are likely to perform well academically, better than students from other programs, and they're more likely to be recruited by top universities worldwide. As a 10-year veteran now of this particular program, I can tell you that my alumni are scientists, bilingual doctors, they're innovators, they're doing amazing things in their future lives. But all of this requires a coordinator who is familiar with the internal assessments, with not just my curriculum, everybody's curriculum, who communicates effectively with the IBO in Switzerland, someone who is detail-oriented. It took me 3 years to learn the IB curriculum for just my content area. We need someone who is specialized and dedicated to this. So without the coordinator, without the counselor, this program that I think brings Tampa so much value will slowly asphyxiate. Please help us keep these two people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. P. Next, Ally Marie Zendri Smith and Dorothy Kasunas.
Andrew Smith. I'm a physical therapist, pediatric physical therapist. I have used deep breathing exercises as a standard protocol for starting every physical therapy session during my entire career, but things have changed. My patients' inhalations used to be free to capture every molecule of oxygen in the air. Now it is restricted to the oxygen that is able to penetrate a mask. The child ends up rebreathing their own exhaust. The human body reads this as a signal that there is a problem. This triggers the immune system to overreact. Our children who are already at risk for allergies are faced with even greater risk. School board members, masking children throughout a school day has never been done in history. This is an experiment. Developing bodies have never been submitted to this. We do not know what the long-term outcome is. We have to protect our children. I invite you to give the parents the freedom of choice of whether to mask their children or not. Most of us will prefer to let our children breathe and play freely. COVID has not been proven to be transmittable in the asymptomatic person. I do advise that everybody finds a doctor that treat COVID in 5 days with the right medication. They are local to us. If you need a doctor, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we're going to go back to Ally Marie, and then Dorothy Kusanis, Jeanette Spencer-Davis, and last, Demetrius Tolbert. Ally?
Allie, yes.
Allie. Well, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm here as a mother of 5 and a founder of a community organizing outreach group called Moms for Freedom, representing hundreds around the state. I'm here to suggest that you make face coverings optional for children. Children rely on learning and recognizing facial expressions to help them learn and to become functional adults with good social emotional skills. I know that you all want to do what is best for everyone, but you also know who wants to do what's best for our children, their parents. As a medical freedom community activist, we stand for 4 main principles that are as follows: health choice, parental rights, informed consent, and medical privacy. Having a one-size-fits-all approach and making recommendations into mandates is a violation of these basic everyday principles. In Collier County, where private and charter schools have adopted an optional mask policy and regular public schools have adopted a mandatory mask policy, we are seeing that the private schools and charter schools have 0 reported cases of COVID, and in schools that choose to do mandates are seeing reported cases of COVID and increase in other illnesses, as well as increase in behavioral infractions linked to improper wearing of masks. This is taking away important learning time for students. It's also a barbaric form of forcing compliance when you restrict the constitutionally protected right of attending public school as punishment. I know of several instances where children that cannot wear a mask for medical reasons are being ostracized and bullied by staff and students as if they are diseased. The parents and special needs providers who have reached out to me are afraid to come forward and tell the school administrators and you guys, the school board, because of fear of being humiliated and denied access to their clients or students. I also would like to say that we are a free nation, and a free nation must remain free by allowing its citizens to decide and not be forced. Anyone who would attempt to bully you into submission doesn't understand freedom. This choice must lie with parents and without any executive punishment or discrimination to either parent or child. Without choice, there is no freedom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Dorothy is next, followed by Jeanette, and then Demetrius. Sorry about that. Apologize.
I'm here about the masks as well. I listened to the podcast, part of the podcast of Ms. Vaughn's, where she talks about it's hard to agree on masks or no masks, and let alone, the dollars and cents of things. The precedent for the mask mandates goes back actually to 1905, when everybody had to get vaccinated for smallpox. That was Jacobson versus Massachusetts. Judge Harlan in his comments said it's for the common good. And the necessity was because the prevalence and the was increasing in Cambridge, so that the emergency situation justified that. I think they used good sense, because smallpox mortality rate was 30% and higher in children and babies. So, you know, that's kind of a no-brainer there. And the survivors were also often left with a legacy. But COVID meets neither of those criteria. We don't have a prevalence, we're not overloaded, and the survival rate is 99 to 97%. I'm 70, I'm at a high-risk area. I don't wear masks. I haven't worn a mask since about June of last year. They do trigger health problems in me, but I haven't also succumbed. So when we decide as a society that we can accept zero risk before we can function, that's kind of a problem. We might as well park our cars and not get Florida roads, you know, at that, because we're actually in more danger. Was that my time, or am I?
You have about 10 seconds left.
Okay, I'll take it. So the evidence that we're also seeing as people in the community is we see pictures of people at Super Bowl celebrations standing, not wearing a mask.
Your time
or
is
the mayor.
now up.
Okay.
All righty.
So we're watching and we're voting, so.
Thanks so much. Okay, next we're going to have Jeanette Spencer Davis, Demetrius Tolbert, and then Bishop Michelle Patty.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeanette Spencer Davis. I am a proud member of Allen Temple African Methodist Episcopal Church and a friend of Dr. Jennifer Dames. It's an absolute honor to have this opportunity to publicly acknowledge and congratulate Dr. Jennifer Dames for achieving a milestone for which she has diligently worked and most definitely earned, becoming a school principal. A few minutes is not enough to share the academic journey to a PhD in science education and a dissertation on the self-efficacy of underrepresented minority women entering the medical pipeline. Folks, you can trust me and go to her resume and see her journey for yourself. She's really smart. Chemistry and biochemistry. She's really smart. But you can peruse the resume and see all of her accomplishments. There you can be assured of her passion for education. But what you won't see on her resume is her passion for students and her coworkers. She uses her personal resources to support and motivate students and her coworkers every day. From providing breakfasts and lunches for special days to establishing tutoring programs and mentoring programs for her students throughout the year. At the same time, she serves as the first lady of our church, where she directs Christmas and Easter plays, where she orchestrates women's conferences throughout the Tampa Bay. She is awesome for a lot of reasons. I would like to congratulate Dr. Dames, but I would also like to congratulate this board for having the wisdom to appoint her as a principal of the schools, and to congratulate the students and staff who will get the very best principal ever. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next, we're going to go to Demetrius Talbert and then Bishop Michelle Patty.
Mr. Davis, Chairman, my representative, Mr. Washington, rest of school board members. My name is Demetrius Tolbert, resident of East Tampa. I am an employee and also a parent of Collaboratory Prep Academy Charter School K through 8. Right now, I'm here to speak on behalf of our charter school and tell about some of the great things going on at Collaboratory Prep. I'm not here to speak about the state-of-the-art equipment that they have for the kids' education. I'm not here to speak about the beautiful campus that we sit on out there on the East Lake, the campus at Mary Help Christian Center. I'm here to talk about the great people that are there at Collaboratory Prep, first starting off with our leader, Mr. Trey. He's the chairman. He's a great innovator. He's a visionary. He has some great ideas and imagination for our school. Also, we're led by our principal, Mrs. Jenkins. They're here with me today.
Ms. Jenkins, she comes in from Detroit, Michigan. She brings a great spirit and vibe to our East Tampa community. She's very caring, and she practices an agenda of tolerance toward her students. She's not out there like throwing them out for every little thing they do. She's very tolerable toward them. We love her in our community. And our, some of our staff members, such as Ms. Tara Phillips, who has invested, she spends time with the students outside of the school. We have a marvelous school. We're a little family there, and we want whatever approval that we need to keep our school to downsize or whatever we need to do. We're asking that the school board grant us those wishes. We love our school, our parents, our students, everybody there. It's like a little gym, hidden gem over in East Tampa, and we ask that you guys grant us whatever blessings that they're asking for, and may God continue to bless our school board. Good to see you, Mr. Washington.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Bishop Michelle Patty, and last, Michelle Bunkley. Good afternoon.
Good evening. I'm Bishop Michelle B. Patty. I come to say thank you to the committee, to this board for selecting Dr. Jennifer Daines to be the principal of Doris Ross Reddick Elementary, something that has not been done in 13 years. I hear people talking about the school to prison pipeline, but this is a start in the right direction. The community, the school should reflect the community. When little boys and girls, and I'm talking about black boys and girls, see that if you work hard, if you study hard, that doors will be open for you. This is an elevation where in the community, the children will be able to see that they can become whatever they strive to be. So this is in the right direction, but we need more of it. We need more Dr. Jennifer Daines. We need some men in these leadership positions. So here, as a resident of Hillsborough County for 67 years, I'm elated to see that this board is moving in the right direction. I also like to say thank you to Addison Davis, the superintendent, to you, the chairman, Ms. Gray, to Mr. Washington, and those of you that took part in the Black History Brain Bowl. This was an excellent thing that had not been taking place in the last two years. Our children was excited about participating. They participated, and for what I hear, they done well. I am fully vaccinated. I have a son that's a senior at Brandon High School, never missed a day of school. He played football, never missed a game because he wear his mask, because he wash his hand. And I have 4 other grandchildren that is in your school system that has never missed a day because of COVID-19. If we train our children to properly wear their mask, if we train them to wash their hands, then we will have fewer incidents. So thank you once again.
Thank you, Bishop Patty. And last is Michelle Buckley.
Hello, and thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Michelle Buckley. I'm the mother to a bright 3.5-year-old boy named Frankie. I'm a medical speech pathologist, and my husband is an internal medicine physician. We live in South Tampa. I am here today to advocate for not only my child, but for all of our children. Requiring our children to wear a cloth face covering in order to participate in their publicly funded education is not only morally and ethically wrong, but is unconstitutional. A cloth face covering, when used for source control, is considered by definition to be a medical device, according to the FDA. I stand here as a medical speech pathologist, a mother, and the wife of a physician to use my voice to say that Superintendent Davis is not a medical doctor, and if he was, he would need to provide true informed consent before recommending the use of a medical device. Doctors do not mandate the use of medical devices. They recommend them, and the consumer decides whether or not the recommendation is for them. I stand here today not to try and convince the school board that masks are neither safe nor effective in this setting and with this population, but rather to stand here and speak to all of you as citizens of the great United States to remind you that the U.S. and Florida constitutions are the great law of the land. Superintendent Davis does not seat a publicly elected position. He does not have the authority to make laws. There is no law that requires a child to cover his or her face to enter the grounds of their publicly funded school. I am here to be a role model for the parents who know in their hearts that masking their child in order to keep them in public school is not right. I am here for you. I am here to show you that you are not alone. Peaceful noncompliance is simply the refusal to participate in that which is morally and ethically wrong and unconstitutional. Peaceful noncompliance is the personal choice to stop participating in a system that is unjust. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. And this concludes our public comments, and just I'm just really proud that we are experiencing more of our public coming forward and expressing themselves. So very important. Next we have recognitions, a special one, but we're going to start out first with the proclamations, and the first proclamation will be taken together. And here it goes. This is the Youth Art Month and Music in Our Schools Month, March 2021. And I first want to thank our wonderful leaders of the arts, and that would be Ted Hope, Carol Vick, and Aaron Saladino, and staff. Youth Art Month serves to emphasize the value of art education for all children and to encourage support for quality art programs. Youth Art Month provides a forum for acknowledging skills fostered through experience in the visual arts. Music in Our Schools Month raises awareness of the importance of music education for all children and to remind citizens that schools are where all children should have access to music. Music in Our Schools Month allows students to acquire skills in production and performance of music, as well as an understanding of history and of culture. I need a motion and a second to approve Youth Art Month, March 2021. I have a motion from Member Perez and a second from Member Hahn. Is there any discussion? Okay, Member Perez?
Yeah, one of the things that I miss this year is going to see the our students' artwork. You know, being there with the students and walking through and seeing the amazing works of art that they produce. We have some amazing talent here in Hillsborough County. You wouldn't think that a student did this. You would think that it was an adult producing the stuff. But our students are incredibly, incredibly talented. And so, you know, I look forward to being able to be there amongst them when they, when we have, a display of their work again. But, you know, I just am delighted with what our students produce.
Thank you, Member Perez. And indeed, we have a showing from our art students at Congressman Coaster. Member Snively, is that the right? Congressman Coaster. Yeah, she's going to put our students' artwork in her office.
Unless you're talking about Congresswoman Castor.
No, not Congressman Castor. Okay. All right, Member Snively?
Thank you, Chairwoman Gray. Just to dovetail on what Member Perez stated in addition to art is the ability, I'm so happy that the ability to still perform music is in our schools because music, as we know, research shows improved academic progress and success when it comes to the ability to learn music and to perform music. And music benefits so many of our students. As a mom of two of my kids who play violin and saxophone, it has really improved their academic performance by allowing them to learn music and perform. And so it's nice to see that there are several schools that still have, that are creating events around music performance, that are still competing in musical performances and different competitions. And so I'm so happy that that is still happening, even though we've had to make some, concessions around the way that it happens. So just as sports is important, so is music, and so it's been really nice to see that. And I also encourage folks out there to continue supporting organizations that put musical instruments in children's hands. And so one organization that I've been working with lately is called Recycled Tunes, and they work they're actually the folks that organize the Gasparilla Music Festival, which of course this year has not going to happen, but instead we're redirecting our energy to making sure that students who want to play music are not thwarted by the inability to get instruments into their hands. And so I would encourage everyone who has an instrument somewhere, maybe dust it off if it's under your bed or in one of your closets, and get prepared, because we're going to be doing some instrument drives throughout the school district for those kids who need to learn who want to learn how to play and who need a musical instrument. Thanks.
And we are reminded that Member Snively actually is quite the singer. I won't have you sing right now, but just wanted to throw that in there. We're going to go ahead and please vote when your lights are on. Okay, it's unanimous. And next we're going to go to the adoption of the proclamation of National Social Work Month, and Member Perez will be presenting. Member Perez?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hillsborough County Public Schools currently has a total of 235 social workers, school social workers. School social workers provide a variety of professional services that foster students' physical, social, emotional, and academic growth. School social workers help students and their families with learning, behavioral, mental health, and/or attendance concerns while strengthening home, school, and community partnerships. School social workers promote and support the educational process by providing services including crisis intervention and counseling, supporting parent and family involvement, planning and developing school-based interventions with educators, and assessing the needs for special services. Just this year, school social workers documented more than 57,000 services to students and families, such as counseling, evaluations, case management, consultation, and community connections.
Thank you so much, Member Perez. And Board, if you would like to go ahead and make discussion right now, please. We're going to have a motion to second. Okay. Motion by Perez and second by Member Snively. Any discussion? Okay, Member Perez.
As a licensed clinical social worker in the community for the last 20 years, I just want to thank my fellow school social workers here in Hillsborough County for all they do, because it's just not student-centered. When we work with a student, we're actually working with their family, with their environment, and with their community to help the student out. So, I want to just thank my fellow social workers and wish them an incredible Social Work Month.
And thank you, Member Perez. And we're reminded also that the social workers were the probably the most critical part of the COVID connector between the parents and the school. They actually went to the houses. I'm always thankful for Anna Sanchez, Sefner Elementary School, who set the bar in my mind for social work with pantries, food, clothing, and going out with papers for students to fill in. Went to house to house to house, and I know that is true of many of our social workers. We cannot do without them. They are critical for our child's mental and physical well-being and our families. So thank you for bringing this forward, Member Perez. And at this time, please vote. Oops. Please vote when your lights appear. It is unanimous. Thank you, Board. Our last proclamation before we get to a recognition is the Intellectual Disability Awareness Month in March 2021. Member Vaughn, would you present this proclamation?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. With the adoption of the Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month proclamation, we recognize the efforts of Hillsborough County Public Schools in effectively implementing innovative educational practices that advance the awareness of intellectual disabilities and educational practices that promote our district's commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion. During Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month, our district recognizes the amazing talents and abilities of our students with intellectual disabilities and the contributions they share with their schools and community. While we highlight these talents and contributions during March, we are proud to celebrate individuals with intellectual disabilities all year. There are many activities and celebrations planned in honor of Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month. Some schools are highlighting accomplishments of individuals with intellectual disabilities on morning shows, creating awareness pins, having fashion shows, and wearing blue in honor of the month.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. I need a motion and a second to approve the Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month, March 2021. I have a motion from Member Vaughn and a second from Member Perez. Any discussion? No discussion. Please vote when your lights appear. Please note, Member Gray is away from the dais. Ms. Combs and Mr. Washington's away from the dais. And it is unanimous with Mr. Washington and Ms. Gray away from the dais. Thank you. We are now going to recognize the Black History Brain Bowl winners in partnership with HOPSI. Ms. Gray?
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and begin. It will not be a long ceremony because we're going to have the big one in May on the recognition, but let me just share real briefly, and I'd like for them to come up forward, from HAPSB, Kingsha Parham, and I'd like to see Fred Hearns, and I'm going to be seeing, we're all going to be seeing the winners for the Brain Bowl. We had it on Saturday, full, oh my goodness, it was a game changer for our students and the Black communities, I know, are so proud. We have some monetary prizes we're going to give out to the winners. And before I speak any further, I want to go ahead and thank to our staff, Chris Jargo, Laura Cross, Jeremy Monette, Principal Bodie, and our board member, Jake Washington, Cato Nord, and so many others. Superintendent Davis, thank you so much for championing this. And our wonderful Terry Connor, who's in, I'm going to call you Chief of Schools, but you'll take any title, I hope. So before I say anything else, let me make sure I get everyone thanked properly. Monica, thank you, Veritorado. Oh, India White, thank you for being here. And don't say anything, I have your name down. Oh, I wanted to thank Men of Vision, too. I hope that they're here. All right, go ahead and tell me your name again. Darn, I thought I had. Oh, Jashra Womack. Okay, yay. All right, and I wonder who this is. This must be the leader of the show. You all, let's give her a big hand. This is Kingsha. She single-handedly did over 40 schools, and I can't even tell you all the logistics. Then we're going to thank Jake Washington and Fred Hearns. So at this point in time, Kingsha, would you go ahead and do the honors of giving the announcements of the awards?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're comfortable with that, I'll let you have this microphone. She doesn't like to public speak, but
don't tell him that. That's great. All right. Well, we are super excited. If you when you do get to see it, it'll be on the Hillsborough County Public Schools YouTube channel. We are doing the edits right now, so we can get it out there that everyone will have the experience that we did. The energy in the room was just amazing. I won't go through my whole speech, but I do have to say that there were teams that did not miss a question. until they got to the championship game in that tiebreaker, and it came down to who was able to put their answer in first. The students studied, they were prepared. The energy at the schools was just amazing. Even at one school, I think it was Leonard High School, in their administrative staff meetings, they were quizzing each other to be a part of what the students had going on. So they were in that learning process as well. So please join me in just giving all of our volunteers, sponsors, everybody a round of applause, because it truly took a group effort in order to make that happen. We had 25 delivery drivers going out to the different schools to deliver the foods. We had over 100 volunteers in the process of making everything happen, and it was just amazing in order to have that experience from county to county. And we were at Steinbrenner, Wharton, Leonard, Plant City, as well as down in Robinson and in the inner city areas. So it did touch everywhere, and it was just an amazing experience. We can't wait until next year. So without further ado, our students are ready and excited. We are going to start with middle school first. And our second place winners for middle school were Liberty Middle School. Come on up. The team members did an outstanding job. I was going to say, if you want to go over there, and if you guys go line up that way for me so we can get the picture in there. Go that direction for us. Kind of bunch in a little bit. We'll bring the other crew in too. In our first place winning team, we have Sly Middle School. You guys can come on down. And so you know, each of our schools will receive a check, but however, the students get their prizes for participation as well.
Should we have the first school?
Go ahead, slide on out. Mr. Superintendent Davis is shaking their hands as well. Okay. Y'all may have to bunch up a little bit. Students, you guys kind of get in the front. Get in the front.
We want to make room for you guys to get
There you go. This is Sly right here.
Thank you, Liberty.
Let's clap. Thank you.
There we go. Now there's plenty of room.
All right. So next we have our high school teams. Yeah, that's for you, baby. Next we have our high school teams. Let's do round of applause one more time for our middle schoolers. And next we have our high school team. So I talked about they did not miss a question. Not a question the entire competition. So it kept going and kept going because they did not miss a question. And finally we said, listen, this is what we'll do. The effort and the dedication and commitment and perseverance in order to make this happen, we said we're going to do a tie. So we have a tie for first place. Co-champions Leonard High School and Robinson High School, Robinson. So come on down, you guys.
So these are the kids in the car, right?
Oh, so I will say, I'll tell the story, but you guys do me a favor. Slide towards Miss Superintendent Davis and Miss Gray direction. Yes, sir. So the story goes, not story, what actually happened is the power went out in South Tampa. So these students were competing. As I said, they had not missed a question. So they said, well, we're going to hop in our car and drive to Middleton. We said, wait, don't drive. Pull over. You can compete from your car. Kids with technology, they were on their phones, and they were able to maintain and keep the course and competing there. Yeah, Melissa. Yes. So thank you all so much. Yep. It was fantastic. Thank you. And we also have Leonard High School. Come on down. Oh. Hustle in, so you can get the picture in. Hurry up.
They don't, yeah. We're very honored that Leonard High School tied for first with Robinson. And let me just say that Dr. Earl Leonard, who was a friend of mine, would be smiling from ear to ear today if he were here. Thank you all.
Mr. Hearns, he's smiling from above, I promise.
So again, we'd like to thank all of our volunteers and all of our sponsors and the community coming together in order to make this happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, board, for your patience, and thank you, students, for your brilliance. Thank you, board members, for your patience and honorable time. So this is not a voting item, so we don't have to vote on that. And I need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion by Member Snively and a second by Member Perez. Please vote when your lights are on. Consent. The consent agenda. Okay, let's see, Lynn. Member Perez? Thank you, it's unanimous. All right, so we're going to move right now to the superintendent's comments. And let's see if I am absolutely correct. I am. Good. Superintendent comments. Superintendent Davis, can you give us some updates?
Yes, ma'am. Through the chair, first and foremost, thank you for Mr. Hearns and the entire task force for really leading the work to create the African American Brain Bowl. It was an awesome opportunity. Really thank you to all of our staff who worked really hard to be there to make it a reality. And, Jeremy Bunkley, your team was ready and thriving to make certain that it was a systemic initiative virtually. I know that we've had some hiccups, but students were very creative in that approach to really stay connected. And what a great event. And we'll seek to expand it on a continuous basis. Overall tonight, just want to talk about some comparative data from baseline to mid-year from Diagnostic 2 with iReady, also to look at Achieve, and at the same time look at some mid-year diagnostics that we continue to be district created that align with state assessed courses, and also identify some celebrations along with give some district updates. Overall, when we look at iReady, as we know, iReady is a tiered approach, supplemental material. It does a diagnostic at the beginning of the year and also gives us an opportunity to have mid-year assessments and end of the year to really follow the learner and determine how well he or she is doing educationally and academically. And in this part, when you look at the tiered approaches, you'll see from the baseline data on the left-hand side to the mid-year, even you will see that we have moved the needle related to the number of students that are at risk at Tier 3. We have less students that are 2 or more years behind, and at the same time, you see we continuously grow the number of students who are meeting grade level expectations throughout the mid-year term. However, on the other side of the coin, we want to look at this. This is last year's data from mid-year to this year's data mid-year. Looking at the annual comparison at the same point in time, we do see there's a growing number of students who are 2 or more years behind in the area of literacy. We do believe this is directly linked to COVID and also the learning loss. It is something that is a realization for our students and our families and our teachers. And this means we've got to really truly continue to focus on addressing the readiness levels of our students, at the same time making certain we have ongoing interventions to help our children. As you can see, we did assess less students this year than last year, and I say this is once again could be related to COVID, and also that analytics being able to have a number of more students who are 2 or more years behind could be directly linked to the overall readiness levels of our students and the population that we overall serve. This data is a comparison between overall district from K-5 baseline to mid-year comparison to district, looking at traditional students who are in brick and mortar, e-learning students, and also the transformational network. You will see overall of the all 4 of these matrices from mid-year to baseline. From baseline to mid-year, we are moved the needle to the number of students related to being on grade level proficiency, and also reducing the number of students who are 2 or more years behind. There's a major celebration from the school district. We went from 36% of our students who were meeting grade level standards to 51%, and we see that across all the way through transformation. This is really focused on leveraging consistent curriculum within our school district, and at the same time having a systemic phonics initiative and supplement materials in our school district. Also having exposing our children to grade level text, along with making certain that we have text-dependent questions along with high-quality, rich, aligned text for our students to allow them to be able to compete. As you look at mathematics, it's kind of the same trend. When you look at baseline to mid-year, we do see that we are moving the needle with a number of students who are meeting grade level expectations, at the same time reducing the number of students who are 2 or more years behind in the area of mathematics. But when you look at the story compared to last year to this year, and this is a mid-year last year in 1920 to mid-year 2021, it openly talks about how we do have a number of students, more students who are not meeting grade level expectations. And I think, once again, this is all about making certain that we have coherent concepts being taught in the area of mathematics, making certain that we are focusing on unfinished learning within our school district. We know that geometry and measurement were 2 areas that did not get really taught face-to-face last year from March to the end of the year. So we're really working to be able to spiral those big elements within our school district every single day, and finding times that we can be surgically put them into our curriculum guides to make certain students have additional exposure, so that we can make certain that kids continue to be exposed to coherent mathematics. Once again, this is the mid-year overall district from baseline to traditional e-learners, and along with transformation. We see our e-learners are really creating a great movement with being overall proficient and meeting grade level expectations. But once again, this is we see that we are moving the needle in the right direction. This is linked to our monthly Mathlies, our Math Monthly assessments that we are embedding within our schools, and that really allows us to prescribe, our teachers to prescribe the learning, details and content within our classrooms, to whether it's in small group or independent practice. And also, I think this is really allowing us to, we've also done a really nice job providing ongoing professional development with PLCs in the area of mathematics. And this is allowing us to really help teachers strengthen lessons, to be able to develop lessons that's really going to meet the needs of the spirit of the standard, and also differentiate along the way. And then finally, we've had coaching cycles and coaching supports where we're really continuously tiering school on a monthly basis to determine who may need additional assistance, and I believe this has contributed to the movement in the area of mathematics. So overall highlights in this area is 43% of our students who are not on grade level moved at least one placement related to iReady and literacy. Related to mathematics, 39% of the students who did not meet grade level expectations in the first baseline, they have moved one placement, and this is contributed to the hard work of our teachers. Hats off to them for continuing to make certain they're treating students, helping students, foster a thriving learning environment. And at the same time, we want to say highlights that 30% of our students have already met the expected growth at this time, compared to 32 at last year's time. So while we've had the achievement gap exacerbated, we're not far behind where we were last year, and I think that allows us to compete. And if you look at the area of mathematics, we are in the same location that we were last year from 1920 to 2021, and that's once again hats off to our teachers. As you know, we brought another solution treatment for supplement materials for Achieve 3000. This allows us to see the progression of Lexile within our schools. This is a chart that I shared with the board today in our strategic literacy workshop. And overall, when you look at the number of students from grades 3 through 10 that are being served as a supplemental material, which is optional within our school district, the expected average Lexile growth mean is 34 Lexile points. And as we sit right now in Hillsborough County, 49 of, the average growth is 49 Lexile points within our school district. And this is all about seeing that, this is all about looking at a chart for quantity versus quality. We want to make certain that we ask our students that are getting, 4 articles per month. But at the same time, we want to make certain they're giving best effort along the way and hitting the 75% competency on the first threshold, first assessment. And we see those students who are having exposure to 2 articles per week, students who are giving best effort and hitting the 75% threshold. They are knocking it out of the park with an average of 193 Lexile points growth within our school district. And this is a celebration once again. This is a overall continuum of third grade to 10th grade where we're seeing progression. You have the expected growth in yellow, and I think this is more of a visual for us to see that what's happening within our schools. And this is all about we are exceeding the expectations identified by Achieve 3000. And also this is about how Achieve is truly accelerating literacy growth in our school district. And that is a celebration to be acknowledged. And hats off to everyone who's been using this to help our children. So what we see highlights overall Lexile, which is determines one's readability. We see that we have a growth of 1.4 times the expected growth, and 28% of our students who are experiencing nearly 3 times the expected growth as they have the first time expectancy of hitting 75% or higher on their first time of their assessments. We really need to focus on third grade. They have decreased the number of far below range, or 12 points compared to the baseline. And also 8th grade has increased the number of students that have met or exceeding expectations by 8 points compared to the baseline assessment. Looking at science is we are knocking it out of the park in the area of 5th grade, and this is truly linked to the hard work and aligned investigations and core content and exposure. This is openly, the standards haven't changed in many years, so our teachers are continuing to be experts in this process. But you see that we have, our students are learning ahead of schedule. Historically, at the mid-year, you want to see students that are 50% of the content's been exposed, meeting that baseline of 50% proficiency. But students are moving in the right direction. Also, you look at Transformation Network. They are having great concentration in the area of science, and hats off for their continued growth. And they had larger growth within this particular area. 6th grade math baseline is once again we see improvements. But once again the unfinished learning that took place has really compounded our efforts to be able to make sure we're accelerating math within our school district, particularly the 6th grade. And at the same time, with 7th grade, we see that we major growth from baseline to mid-year, and we see that there's growth in the transformational network. We just want to see we're trying to get more students proficient, and we're working to do that to make sure we strengthen the core in the area of math for our core concepts as well. And then 8th grade pre-algebra. This is one thing you'll see. Look at the transformational network. 1/4 of their students have become proficient. We know that number will continue to creep up. But this is really great strides for seeing that improvement as we continue to make certain that we have and implement an instructional framework that continues to further support our learners. And then civics. Civics is, once again, this is, we started very low out of the gate, and you see the major movement from the baseline to mid-year with our students who are really having a better understanding of our standards. Our teachers feel very comfortable about teaching the spirit to the standards. And then once again, we see movement in the transformational network from 2% to 29%. In 8th grade science as well, we see that we had a decrease from baseline to mid-year, but it is important to acknowledge that we tested and assessed more students from the baseline to the mid-year process. There's a major differentiation, but when you look at the overall, we did test more students in transformation, but we also had some really special movement in the area of 8th grade as well. And I think this is really going back to incorporate spiral core curriculums. As you know, in 8th grade, there's no science assessment in the 7th grade and in the 6th grade. So they're doing a really nice job embedded spiral curriculum from previous year's content in the 8th grade, because the 8th grade assessment is inclusive of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade standards. And we're doing a really nice job making sure that takes place. And then you see Algebra 1. Once again, we see movement overall, major movement, and hats off to Transformational Network. Teachers in Algebra 1 having, from 3% proficient to 56. Once again, this is the hats off to our teachers who continue to dedicate their efforts along the way. And then also geometry. Overall from the school district, we had major growth, and this is the concentration that we continue to use the Math Monthlies and continue to use and focus on supporting our teachers to better understand content and to be able to make certain they expose them to grade level expectations. And once again with biology, U.S. history, we see great growth within our school district, moving from 14% to 52% within our school district. And then at the same time, so overall, we see that target district support based on mid-year data we've got to do, this is our next steps, we've got to maximize our efforts in strengthening identified areas of needs, and we've unpacked our standards, unpacked big buckets. We are triaging those and making certain that we extend our learning opportunities before, during, and after school, connecting with our partners at our transformational network, whether it's an external operator or MGT, making certain our coaches are really in front of our children, pulling students to be able to maximize PLCs, lesson studies, coaching cycles, and then sharing best practice along the way. But overall, we continue to make data-driven, targeted small group instruction decisions across our school district. We are working to scaffold lessons to re-engage students on areas of opportunity within core content for mastery, and then we're looking at where we can remediate whole group standards within our schools, looking at our instructional framework so we can have continuous informed processes to allow us to improve student performance. So lots going on with the data. It's a lot of data to be able to look at. I know I went through it really fast, but I want to make certain that we understand that learning loss is real from last year's March. The Department of Education has been very clear about that we, when they did models across the state of Florida, there will be more D&F schools throughout the state, and especially they've identified an increase in D&F schools in Hillsborough County through their predictors. But we are going to be working every single day from now into the assessment along with the summer and beginning of next year to really ramp our students up to make sure they're meeting the thresholds. As it relates to district updates, this is more for senior activities and for our parents. We will be sending out information by the end of the week that just talks about all the activities we will be providing to our seniors. I know more than ever that these are memorable events. So we will be making certain that these are approved through our guidelines and continue to work with our local medical experts. Every one of these has been extended to our principals. Our principals will continue to communicate this information out to all of our seniors and their families about what they will be offering and how those protocols will be in place. But please know that we will have a number of opportunities for our seniors to celebrate their memorable year and moving forward. The biggest question I continue to get out there is graduation. By the end of the week, we will send out information related to graduation to all of our stakeholders and our parents. We will have an in-person graduation. Thankful for TGH and USF Health for continuing to be a partner in this thinking, and Colleen Fawcett and her team with Tracy Brown and Van for us to be able to look and be able to make sure we get this off the ground. The location will be the Florida State Fairgrounds at Expo Hall. We will have dates starting from the May 24th all the way through June the 3rd. Every senior will be available to bring two guests to be able to celebrate this. We wish and we want to have so many more to be able to do it, but we couldn't do it to be able to social distance and to make certain that we created that safe environment. It will be streamed virtually. So for those who cannot attend, will be able to watch this great event and have that moment of celebration. And this communication will be going out by the end of the week. And then also major highlights that we've had is B303 tonight on the consent agenda, where, YMCA continues to be a great partner with us in Hillsborough County, especially with Sulphur Springs through our community and schools partnership. This is an after-school program that they do to offer after-school tutorials. They make certain that we have the students and families have the resources they need to be successful. They have summer programs, tutoring programs. They provide school supplies and also enrichment clubs to our students. And this is at no cost to the district, and we appreciate what they do. Along with 501, that we know the NFL experience came to us, and the Love Thy Partner, Love Thy Neighbor from the NFL experience came to Just Elementary School. They gave $20,000 to Just Elementary School to help with their STEM initiative, and they will do this they will use this money to be able to bring STEM activities and also to be able to address the digital divide within our school. And Principal McDonald is so excited, so happy. We tried to ask him for some of those dollars to help us with that, but he's no way going to do it. He's going to continue to support his children. And then 604 with CTE. CTE is a grant opportunities we brought to the board for approval. We're seeking around $6.6 million of grant opportunities that will further support technical education, adult education, integrated English literacy, civics education, and expand basic English for our community members. And this is all to be able to continue to not only develop our school district, but this entire community at scale. And thank you for the board for approving it. This will allow us to do some really cool initiatives. And then also sales tax. We have $15 million of sales tax initiative that we're able to finalize tonight through many projects, through roof and HVAC, covered walkways. So thank you, community, for continuing to support us. Operations team has continued to make certain they work through it through our executive committee, through Mr. Farkas's shop and the community committee, are really identifying our tiered supports of how we can create a balance for what we put on in the classroom and what we put on the classroom as well. I know it's long, but thank you, and just want to get some highlights out to our community.
You did a great job. And Superintendent Davis, Member Perez has a question.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
before that, we didn't really, and Mr. Farkas, well, you'll answer it. We're not far off with our referendum monies, right? We're a little bit off for expectations for COVID, but not much.
Yes, ma'am. At the end of the year, I appreciate the question. We're just over $3 million under, from 127 to 124. So overall, when we were talking about March and April, we were very scared of what that looked like, and to be $3 million under at the end of the year is just it makes us much easier and it makes it much easier for us to address all the needs we have and not push any projects back.
That's such a relief. We thought it would be much, much worse or less, or both. Member Perez.
Yeah, real quick. This data is like all compiled together. And what I was asking this afternoon is to see if we could get the data of the students, like in Member Washington's district, for instance, that are the most struggling students. And that way we could follow them closely to monitor their progress, because it's very difficult to monitor progress when it's all the students together. And you had mentioned that, the students are kind of struggling to provide additional resources for them and supports. And in this way, we could see if the additional supports are helping and made a difference towards their graduation. And on page 23, you speak to that, the target small group instruction. And I just would like to see if targeting and that focus will help, especially board member Washington's district, with the graduation rate and also the instruction. But that but there's more area beyond his district. But I'm just using your district as an example. But if we have all the students kind of clumped together, we will never be able to see if what we're doing is working if we don't have a if we don't separate them, those struggling students, to see if these additional supports are helping them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, through the chair. We have it broken down. By socioeconomic status, by ethnic groups, by board member district, and all those information we'll provide to each of you, so you can have, and that you can start looking and tracking the overall efficiencies. And I do agree. This is continued data that we have to focus on. We are professionally obligated to do so through ESSA. And every one of our schools truly understands their pockets of students that may have the greater needs, and they are continuously asked and supported through providing ongoing interventions that allow that learner to continue to move forward. Anything? Okay.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis, an excellent question. We want to definitely keep an eye on our high needs population, as well as our Hispanic and the other high needs risk areas. As I want to say part of a weekly show, but part of a monthly board meeting, we're now going to engage in a legislative update. Kristen Davis has prepared in 3 minutes a priority of the state legislative branch and the results of the session and federal update. And you are on.
Thank you, Board Chair. Thank you, Board Member, Superintendent. Yes, I will be brief. So as you know, this is the second week of the legislative session, and legislators have filed more than 3,000 bills. About 53% of those we are tracking, actively watching and monitoring. Pretty much on a regular basis, we're working with our superintendent, board members, staff, our lobbyists to track the bills, but also work with our legislative delegation on issues of concern or even support, and our colleagues around the state as well. So often, sometimes there are things that you will see or you may not see or you may not hear about, but we are working behind the scenes to ask questions. That includes Senate Bill 48. And as you know, quick update on that, that's passed, the Senate bill has passed all its committees and will be heard by the full Senate probably soon, and we anticipate a House version to be dropped. I will dovetail from our successful HCPS virtual day in the legislature and mention that last week we had 2 appropriations requests of yours that were heard in the House Pre-K Appropriations Subcommittee, successfully passed that committee, going to the House Appropriations Committee next, hopefully pass that, and then the hard work is ahead to get a line item in the actual budget for those requests. So there are approximately, I think it was $82 million worth of appropriations requests presented to the Florida legislature this year. So we do have competition. Today, our Purple Star School Program Senate bill was heard this afternoon in the Senate Education Committee. It passed, and we did offer a waive in support. So they did announce the Hillsborough County Public Schools does waive in support of the bill. So that was announced, which is great. As Mr. Davis mentioned to you in the workshop this morning, we are actively pursuing the general knowledge test industry certification route. We actually have a call tomorrow, again, another follow-up with Chancellor Mack, with CTE, DOE Chancellor, and hope to be able to pursue that with a state board route, obviously not legislatively. We'll jump into, I will mention one other thing that was very interesting. Yesterday in the House, also Pre-K Appropriations Subcommittee, Chair Fine did make an interesting statement that I did want to share with you regarding categoricals in the FEFP. Sorry about that. He had suggested that perhaps we eliminate or reduce some of the categoricals, and just put the money in the base student allocation so it allows superintendents more flexibility and how funding is utilized. Now, this was just a statement, but I just want to share it because it's definitely got kind of the interest in the ears up in Tallahassee. And then quickly, I'm not sure what my time is, but federally, as you know, the Senate version of the American Rescue Plan did pass over the weekend. That is exciting because there's $122.8 billion for K-12 public schools. 20% of it does have to be used for learning loss. And then there is that one clause that I did share with each of you that I do want to say that we are excited about that says that the states must provide the allocated funds to school districts in an expedited, timely manner and to the extent practicable, not later than 60 days after receipt of such funds. So that was not included in CARES 1 or in CRRSA 2. People call it CARES 2, but it's actually CRRSA, CRRSA. And so now this is the third round. So we are excited, and I know the joke is that we possibly could receive maybe the third round before the second round. We don't really know because we have not received the second. There's no timeline or guidance still on that. So,
excellent job, Ms. Davis, and so important that our board members are updated each time with the legislative updates. So at this point in time, we are a little bit ahead of schedule, but I think we'll go ahead and start with we're going to go to the discussion agenda. We're changing it around in terms of order. We're going to take 401A, then we'll go to employee comment, then we're going to go to 1001 because of our guests have been waiting. So 401A, and we're going to start with Superintendent Davis. Will you highlight 401A for us so we can get this finished here?
Sorry, through the chair, thank you. 401A is to approve the administrative appointments and transfers for individuals to within Hillsborough County. At this time, my recommendation is to approve to seek approval for the principal of Turkey Creek Middle School, which is Dr. Donald Peak. Dr. Donald Peak brings 19 years at the same school at Bloomingdale. He's been at Bloomingdale High School, but he truly understands the continuity, what it takes to be able to lead and to transition students from middle school to high school. He did a wonderful job. He's started as a teacher, worked his way up, is truly dedicated to the profession. He is, he is dedicated to making certain that we have greater pathways in the middle school platform that will be seamlessly transition up to our high school, and truly understands, education and core content. He is currently an APC. He's done that, and as you know, this year has been so complex related to the work for being an APC. But, my hat's off to him, and he's got a really telling story about who he is and what he's come from his family. This gentleman has great resilience. He's overcome some major obstacles in his personal life and his professional life, and he is ready to lead a middle school without a doubt. In addition, I also bring to the board that Dr. Jennifer Dames be identified in the next principal at Reddick Elementary School. She brings rich experiences from multiple counties, from a teacher to a science coach to working in urban core schools and understanding the complexities not only in Hillsborough but outside of Hillsborough as well. Transition to go to Brevard to not only be a teacher but also be an assistant principal. Transition back to move to Hillsborough County, took on a teaching position at the same time, took on leadership positions at some of our most complex schools. At Foster Elementary School, and then transitioned this year to Seminole Heights Elementary School. Openly through the committee, it was unanimous that this was the leader to be able to drive this work. And after having conversations with her this week and interacting with her staff and understanding the overall needs, she is the right fit to be able to lead the work at one of our most fragile schools.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis. I need a motion and a second. I have a motion by Member Snively, a second by Member Hahn. And is there any discussion? I believe there's a few members that would like to discuss. And Member Washington, followed by Member Vaughn. Member Washington, you're recognized. I'm sorry? Okay, Member Vaughn, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I had asked Superintendent Davis to pull this item because from time to time we get emails from constituents who have questions about some of the appointments. And I had conferred with our attorney, Jim Porter, and he had very clearly explained to us that as long as the applicant meets the qualifications, the board has to approve whatever comes before us. So I wanted Mr. Porter just to go ahead and explain that, so when constituents write us, they know that this really isn't our call to make, that it's really the superintendent's call. The only way that we could say if we had an issue with it is if the applicant didn't have the criteria or didn't meet the standards. So I just wanted Mr. Porter to really explain that, so when constituents wrote us, they had an understanding of the process.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn, for the question. Yes, board members, on most decisions that come before you upon recommendation of the superintendent, you have the ability to decide whether to approve that recommendation or not, and that's completely within your realm of responsibility. The courts have determined that in the area of appointments, when the superintendent recommends an appointment to the school board, so long as that person meets the established criteria or the published criteria, the school board must vote to approve that. The basis or the theory behind that case is it was to prevent from politics entering into decisions about appointments. So that's something that the courts in Florida have determined, that when the superintendent brings a candidate to you and that candidate meets the qualifications, you don't have the ability to deny that recommendation. If you do, there's a potential litigation involved. So if you voted no or voted to deny that, we would run the risk of being challenged on that issue. That's sort of the state of the law in Florida.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Thank you, Member Vaughn. Member Washington, you're recognized.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say, normally, because I've been around for a long time, you know, when a candidate comes in front of the superintendent, he and his staff has a system that they use for a person to be selected for a principal job. And we have to put our trust in the superintendent because that's his job. I don't want to run his job. You know, I don't want to be involved in your job, superintendent. It's hard enough. And I know you're always going to make the right decisions. So we put a lot of trust in the superintendents when they make decisions on who should be the principals of a school. And let me tell you a short story here, because this has kind of irked me a little bit in the mere fact that when I became principal of Chamberlain High School, we had people who did not want me to be principal of Chamberlain. They denigrated me all kind of ways, you know, that I wasn't qualified, I couldn't be the principal. But you know what happened? You know what happened after that? I was only 5-time principal of the year. Because that inner drive is what makes a person be successful. And these two principals, and I know both of them, they're good people, and I know they're going to do a great job in this position. And Mrs. Snively, I'd like to say something else because I know your area. But also I have Mrs. Perry. Mrs. Perry, please stand. I don't know if any of y'all know Mrs. Clement Perry. Mrs. Clement Perry is the daughter of Doris Ross Reddick. And she came today with her friends to be here for this occasion. Thank you. That's all I have, Madam Chair. Did I say enough? Okay.
Thank you, Member Washington. And I will tell you, Member Snively, myself, I'm going to join you on Thursday at Reddick. So that is an affirmation. Thanks for being here. And I'm so glad that your guest was brought to forth. And
I forgot to say this too.
Yes.
And her grandmother is Mrs. James at James Elementary School. So they got a family of great people.
Wow, it's just amazing. You know, we enjoy a history lesson every time we hear Member Washington speak. So I would expect more of like history to continue. The only problem is Fred Hearns wasn't here to hear you. So okay, so let's go ahead and vote when your lights appear. And all in favor. Thank you, Board. And I believe the family, they're all here. Let's go ahead and they will stand, and let's collectively clap. And
Dr. Dames?
We're very proud of you all. Yay. And yes, you can go ahead and get excited. And we'll take a photo, I believe. I think you'll have a lot of photos. Congratulations. And here come the photos. Photo.
Photo op. By the way, this is Ellen Tupper family there.
Would you like us to stand back here behind you all?
Yeah.
So it would have a good look.
Stand up behind you.
So you'll stand over here. So we can all celebrate this. Because we have done for one, we must do for the other. Donnie Peak, would you like for your yourself and your friends and family to come forward? And hopefully, oh, great. Okay, here we go. Board members, we're going to rise and shine. Great job, and so proud of our new principals. What an honor that that they are bestowed, and we have a lot to look forward to from both the Turkey Creek and Reddick. All right, so we're moving on. 10:01. Employee input. Not sorry, but I didn't want to miss that, and I almost did. So here we go. Employee comment. We will now take employee input. Even though we hear public comment at the beginning of the meeting, it is sometimes difficult for employees of our district to attend meetings at 4 p.m. There are many ways for employees to make their voices heard, including through union representatives, emails, phone calls, one-on-one conversations, and public comment at the beginning of the meeting. The board does want to hear from you. With this section of our agenda, we are creating another venue for employees to speak to the board. We are setting aside 30 minutes for employees of the district to speak to the board about any issues that are on your mind. This is not intended to be a discussion about specific agenda items on tonight's agenda, but rather an opportunity for you to speak to the board without any issues to your job or the district. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. I will now call the first 3 speakers in the order that I have. The first is Rob Crete, second, Dr. Michael Frank, and third, Heidi Glick. And welcome, and good evening.
Hey, good evening, honorable school board members, Superintendent Davis. First, HCTA, we are very excited to know that our school employees can get their much-needed COVID vaccinations. In a state where our school employees heeded the call to open our schools, the recognition of this fact and allowing these professionals the ability to be vaccinated is vital. As we've had a lot of speakers tonight talking about masks, I encourage everyone to continue wearing a mask until everybody has had the ability to get those vaccinations. Next, in regards to our potential unit losses, we need to be surgical, student-centered, and logical around every single cut that we make. In all of my years in Hillsborough County schools, we have never seen cuts as the ones that are being proposed right now. I, the employees of the district, we all have anxiety and trepidation about what we are looking to do. Mr. Davis, board members, I need your word that no cut, no program, no unit, no employee will be cut unless it is 100% clear that the change is absolutely necessary. We need to look under every single rock in this district before we make these cuts. Additionally, I know that we normally hire well over 1,000 employees every summer. I fully expect that there will be no hires from outside the district until all of those that are here have a place to work with our students. And last, why are we having less school board meetings during a time of crisis? We need more communication. We need more decision making, not less. Let's please get back to 2 school board meetings a month as we continue to work through the toughest times that I've ever seen here in Hillsborough County Schools. Thank you. Wear the mask, let's get vaccinated, and let's all be safe.
Thank you, Mr. Crete. And next we'll have Dr. Michael Frank, and followed by Heidi Glick. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. While I did get my vaccine on Sunday, I think my wife would still prefer I keep the mask on if that's okay with everyone else. I am a school psychologist at a high school, and I would like to advocate for the importance of some of the positions that I know are under consideration for being cut. Over the past several years, the state and district have recognized the growing mental health needs of our students, and it has taken an Olympic effort to coordinate to meet those needs. I am genuinely proud of what we have been able to accomplish, but with the rumored cuts, I worry. Now, when children face unprecedented uncertainty, when teachers have to simultaneously instruct students both in their classroom and virtually, when counselors are booked solid, scrambling to arrange makeup tests and schedules and keep their kids on track to graduate, and when psychologists have to drop most of the things they do for the sake of meeting urgent testing deadlines, and many of our social worker friends are caught picking up the slack that we have no choice but to drop. It is very scary to think of our team shrinking. Our kids' mental health needs have only increased, and I want to make sure that we are there to meet them. I know I can count on my talented administrative team to help reassure students who at times are legitimately afraid to go to school, but their jobs do not appear to be safe either. Our responsibilities have more than doubled since the pandemic began, and I worry about whether or not we can do more with less. Nobody in my position wants to have to send a kid back to class when they're on the verge of tears because their problem isn't enough of an emergency. And like many of my colleagues, I can't bring myself to do that. When faced with this trolley problem, I would rather go off the rails myself than risk the well-being of a student who might otherwise slip through the cracks. I know my teachers and administrators feel the same. We have to get creative to fit it all in. I work after dismissal to meet with my e-learners and call parents. I write my reports at home. And despite these challenges, I never give up the struggle because I know I'm making a difference in the lives of kids who need my help. And I ask that you do not take that for granted. While we are passionate about what we do, my colleagues and I are human beings with limits that at times we feel we are close to reaching. We're making it work right now, but I struggle to imagine pulling this off if my team were to shrink. I know money is tight, but schools are not businesses. Our kids are counting on us, especially the most vulnerable among them. When trying to make ends meet, I implore you to think carefully about the real costs that are at stake. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Frank. And next we'll have Heidi Glick, and that will conclude our employee input. Good evening, Ms. Glick.
Good evening, everybody. Heidi Glick. Do I need to say from the best high school in the county? Do I need to say Alonzo? Come on. Actually, I want to start off with a couple of thank yous. Thank you, Superintendent Davis. I now have achieved 3,000. I think it took 4 people to get me achieve 3,000, so thank all 4 of them. I know I saw your thank you, and I'm just very excited that I finally have that. And I would also like to thank President Biden. I got my first shot today. And I'm very grateful. When all the little 30-year-olds in another building, I was like, all right, I need tech help. So I finally got tech help, and now I have my shot. I think for those of you that are new to the board, know I'm just going to be here every month. That's just the way this works. But speaking about cuts, a few weeks ago, principals were told that there would be cuts at their schools, and they had to make some tough decisions. And as the union rep at my school, I've had more people crying in my office, what do I do, what do I do? And I don't know what to tell them. Educators choose to work at specific schools for specific reasons: administration, proximity to their home, student population, and reputation. People buy homes based on in areas based on those things too. These teachers that are going to be cut are the ones, Superintendent, that you've just been thanking over and over again for all the work we've been doing, and yet letting them go is something that's going to happen. I understand there's a state formula. You have to have so many kids in a classroom. You can have up to this many. And I understand it doesn't make sense to run a class if there are 10 kids registered. I get that. I totally get that. But what I don't get is cutting teachers that are working so hard, especially in the schools where things are working. We shouldn't be losing any of them. And in the spirit of transparency, I'd like to know how many district administrators are going to go, okay, in that saving of money. I'd like to know if any of them were guaranteed positions in classrooms, even though perhaps some of them haven't been in a classroom for decades. I don't understand why principals are being forced to justify why they need to keep units in their schools that are working. I have 25 desks in my classroom. Sometimes I have 23 students. I don't know how I'm going to fit 30 desks in my room. You guys can come by, and if you can figure it out, I would be really grateful. And it's not about anybody's future plans. It's not about anybody's political aspirations. It's about now. It's about our district, our students, and your loyal employees. So please listen to what Rob said. Be very careful about those cuts. Make sure there's no other way to do this, but start in your own backyard. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Glick. And that concludes our employee comments. And now we will continue with our discussion agenda. And we're going to go ahead with 1001, approve the amendment to the contract of the Collaboratory Preparatory Academy. And Superintendent Davis, will you begin highlighting?
Yes, ma'am, through the chair. This is approval of amendment for a contract with the Collaboratory Preparatory Academy. This is overall, they were approved, their application was approved in December 2016, and then the contract was approved in May of 2017. The school opened their doors in a K3 in 2017-2018 with 65 students. And openly, their school is currently identified as a K8 grade school that they're serving students, and they're asking the transition to a K6 school, to a K5 school in this process. They have continued openly. They've moved from the first year from an analytical perspective from a F school to a C school, which shows improvement. They continue to make sure that every student receives the necessary essentials from breakfast to snacks, and also offering a traditional curriculum, also focusing on STEAM, and then being able to make certain that they service children within the school district. What this does for us, the original plan was them to transition to a facility that can hold them from a K through 8. Openly, there's been some alterations and changes related to being able to do so. So going back down to a K5 and really focusing on the students they currently serve helps them, and openly it helps us as a school district to be able to make sure we can potentially bring those students back to a district-managed school. I think that's it.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis. At this point in time, I need a motion and a second to approve 1001. I have a motion from Member Snively and a second from Member Hahn. Any discussion? Okay, all right. No discussion?
I get you.
Oh, okay. At this point in time, Member Combs, you are recognized.
Thank you so much, Chairwoman Gray. I just had a couple questions. I was looking through this contract and moving from K through 8. I had a couple questions about those students who are currently in middle school. Where will they go? There's some 6th graders, and where exactly will they go? Since we are compartmentalizing from K through 8 to K through 5, there's currently some 6th grade students, and where the plan is for those students to go.
So openly, they can go through choice. They can go. It depends on where they currently live. Right now, schools that they currently impact are Burnett, Jennings, Farrell, Franklin. Are they within our school district? But they have any opportunity to go any choice. We'll make certain that every one of our students in our brick and mortar and also charter schools receive the choice application window information, and we'll continue to push that out for them to be able to make sure we serve them.
And it is my understanding that currently all the CPA teachers are certified teachers, correct?
Through the chair, that is my understanding and correct.
Okay, one of my questions was, and I guess I want clarification on this, I went in and really looked at CPA and looked at the academy and looked at their website, and I also pulled out all their board documents and all the last meetings, and there was a board meeting on November 23rd, 2020. On point 5, it said reports and discussion, the IDEA Public Schools and CP project, and it gave an update. So I wanted to know what involvement is IDEA Public Schools, or what were they as far as involvement with CPA and what that looked like. So that's my question regarding the board documents from November 23rd, 2020.
Through the chair, if you don't mind, I'd like for Ms. Trivius to be able to address those questions. I can't speak to the overall agenda, and I haven't watched your board meeting, sir.
Good evening. We're getting there. Thank you.
Chair, members, superintendent.
Yes, sir.
The Collaboratory Prep School and IDEA Academy, I served on both boards for a period of time. And I was invited to help IDEA understand how to operate in Florida. And I agreed to do that for a period of time from a developmental perspective, and I'm off that board now, which was always the original idea. And during that period of time, we wanted to make sure that our families and our staff understood what was coming to the neighborhood. Collaboratory Prep from 2016 has been an absolute labor of love for a school that can perform for East Tampa kids, and we do, like no other school we know. We're a small school, we're a special school. We do some very, very special things. We have an incredible team. And for our families, we think it's right. But we also had the opportunity to show our families that something else was coming. And while that may be unorthodox, for us it's about them, not us. And we had conversations at the board level about how to introduce our families to IDEA and what was coming, because we had the opportunity to do that. And those were the conversations that we had.
Okay. I guess for me, my concern was with IDEA Public Schools and having kind of different rules as far as not necessarily teachers being certified, and some other issues I was concerned about. I wasn't questioning. I just wanted to make sure where that was kind of meshed and what was happening, because it did surprise me that there was, IDEA and, CPA were kind of involved, and I just wanted clarification on that, because I am concerned about IDEA Public Schools, and are they going towards other charter schools, trying to combine? What does that look like for the future of public schools and charter schools in this district?
Respond?
Continue.
So the latter part of your statement, I don't know anything about that in terms of a strategy. That's not been my experience. It is, you're right, rare for one charter school to collaborate with another about what one offers versus what we offer. The compelling environment that we offer our kids, we want our parents to be free to choose that. And the proposition that IDEA proposes around 100% of their kids getting to and through college is of interest also to our families, and therefore we made sure they had the information that they wanted. I understand why you would be concerned about the things you mentioned with regard to teacher certifications, et cetera, and so, but those weren't really part of our considerations.
Yeah, and I'd also like to clarify that 100% that we're talking about college readiness. From beginning, when students start and complete, I've seen a lot of attrition, so I do want to clarify that that's not necessarily 100% as well.
You're exactly right.
Thank you, Member Combs, and I want to say Trey Traviesta. I hope I pronounced. Oh, I knew it. I'm sorry. I just want you to know where I'm coming from in my teaching experience, and this goes with public schools. Superintendent Davis, a C is not anything to be excited, but going from an F to a C is one thing. But we hope that we want to get to the B or the A. And that has to be, we have to set our goals high. So that's just my remark on the whole situation. But I do know that we'll get more students back. Possibly we'll capture them in our public school district, since you're, going to the K-5. Would you like to say anything else? Because I know you made a trip up here. Or...
I would love to respond to that. I'm happy.
Oh, absolutely. Go right ahead.
First of all, to the latter part of your point about you getting these students back, we have always viewed ourselves and conducted ourselves as your partner, especially in this very important part of the community. And so it was not even a second thought for us that, this was the right thing to do for you and for us. It's what partners do. The reason we're doing this is because we've realized that where we need to focus our attention is where the needs are the greatest. And in our community, the needs are the greatest in the earliest ages. We all know if we lose them young, it is extremely difficult to get them back. And if we spread our resources and energies over K-8, where other folks might be able to do a good job in the middle school years, then we will shortchange K-5. And our courageous principal and our teachers really wanted to do the most good where the most good was needed. So in a partnership with you, we thank you for what I hope will be an affirmative vote for that. Let me just mention the grades for a second, because it's an amazing testament to our team. First of all, the original plan, which you'd see in the charter application, was to start K-2. The community had a different idea, and demand in third grade was extremely high. And I remember the day that the principal came to me and said, we have to open third grade. And I said, do you understand what that means? It's an extremely risky thing to do, because we could get an F. And an F, 2 Fs is obviously a very difficult thing. And she asked me to bet on her and the team, and I did. And they were so close. With only proficiency to go in a school that's new, 2 students away from not getting an F that year. And I would do it again tomorrow, even though an F is a letter that nobody ever wants. The next year, the school was in the top 2.9% of all public schools in the state, going from 24 to 41, jumping from an F to a C, because of the incredible work that the team does and because of the incredible work that our teachers do and the families and how committed the students are. So the letter grades, as I'm sure you may agree, only say so much, but we're going for the A, and we will get the A, and our school will be an A and stay in it.
And I understand you donated money. Was it
A little bit.
to this particular school?
Yes, my family and a foundation, my wife and I support the school from the beginning.
Well, we thank you, too. I had that notice given to me by text, so thank you.
Very good.
Board members, please vote when your lights are on.
And I just want to say thank you so much for making it up here and coming.
Well, you're welcome. Happy to be here. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, the vote is unanimous. Thank you, Board. And now we're going to go into the, back into the order of discussion. And that's going to be 301, the exceptional student education. Superintendent Davis will highlight. Superintendent Davis?
Yes, Mr. Chair. This is approval of the exceptional student education policies and procedures document for 2019-2020 all the way through the 22-23 school year. This is about ESE and a manual that really talks about how we will continue to service our children within our organization. It's a 3-year framework that continues to be updated based on statutory requirements to the Department of Education. And it also just spells out the benefits about what supports we will identify as we continue to provide ongoing supports to our learners. In this involvement, you'll see ESE compliance and staffing protocols. You'll see speech and language staffing. You'll see how we serve ESE supervisors for instructional supports where needed in the organization, along with making certain that we, how we will continue to support students who are IND, and along with ASD, and what overall behavior supports will be implemented as well. So this is about making certain that we are completely aligned with the Disabilities Education Act, with IDEA, and then continue to provide ongoing services to our organization. Ms. Tracy Brown, anything from your side? Okay, thank you.
Okay, board members, I need a motion and a second. I have a motion by Member Perez and a second by Member Snively. Do we have any discussion? Okay, Member Vaughn, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Superintendent. I had originally asked for this item to be pulled as well, because I think we need to have some thorough conversations about our ESE policies and how we're supporting some of our most fragile students. Through talking to staff, I realized that a lot of this, as you mentioned, is statutorily required. And it was a good eye-opening experience to see that if we would like some more changes to our
e-plans when it comes to the laws that Tallahassee are making, we need to do a better job in advocating for those changes at the state level as well as at the board level. So I appreciate you having this pulled and an opportunity to talk to staff about it. I also know that from my conversation, our own personal manual where we add more of our personal touch on the district is coming up next year, and we'll have an opportunity to talk about it then. So I hope that this is just the beginning of having some good conversations about ways that we can expand supporting our ESE policies and our exceptional students. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. And thank you, Member Vaughn. And at this point in time, unless there's any other discussion, let's please vote when your lights are on. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you, board members. And now we're going to go to agenda item 601, budget amendments and monthly financial statements. And Superintendent Davis will highlight this item.
Yes, ma'am, through the chair. 601 is just our budget amendment monthly financial statements ending in January 31, 2021. And in this process, I'll turn this over to our finance team, who will give us a monthly update.
And prior to doing that, I wanted to just give you the CARES 2 update. As of this time, as of today, we have not received any information regarding CARES 2 appropriation, as Ms. Davis indicated in the legislative update. We have not received any CARES 2 update. I can tell you that we run our liquidity, our cash position weekly to determine where we are. In January 12th, when we presented our concerns regarding cash flow and active payroll obligations, we were looking at the first week of May. In January 12th, we were looking at the first week of May. I can tell you, because of the proactive stance that we've taken in reviewing every expenditure, we have been able to move that now to this week to June 16th. So we're getting closer to the June 30th without the $100 million intervention. With that said, though, we're going to go ahead and move on with the monthly financial updates. I've asked Mrs. Garcia and Mrs. Heaton. Mrs. Garcia will discuss the budget amendments, and Mrs. Heaton will talk about the balance sheets, our general fund monthly financials, salary benefit expenditures, and briefly look at a 3-year trend data for revenue and expenses. So with that said, I'll turn it over to Ms. Garcia.
Thank you, Board Member Superintendent Davis. The original budget was approved September 8th of 2020. Per Florida Statute 1011.06, any changes, transfers, additions, and deletions must come to the board for approval. Changes occur daily to accommodate expenditures such as payroll, purchase services, transfer between funds, and any other changes to estimated revenue and expenditures. The budget amendments for the general fund, special revenue funds, student nutrition services, debt service, capital outlay, and internal service funds are posted on the district website under the Budget and Federal Finance Budget Reports. For transparency purposes, these budget amendments include a summary of changes and with numbered detailed explanations. Monthly financial statements and trend data are presented along with the budgets for information purposes. They consist of comparisons of the adopted budget, the current budget, actual revenue and expenditures by function and object, fund balance information, and 3-year general trend data. For the month of January, the overall fund balance for the general fund did not change. The only changes were between functions. The function 3310 FEFP was reduced based on information received from the Florida Department of Education, and local revenue was increased based on property tax values that appear to be coming in higher than expected. Function 5100 decreased and was transferred to function 7400 for the charter school capital outlay payment, and the changes in 7500 and 9200 were to accommodate the cost of the interest for the tax anticipation note, which was paid off in January. The other changes were for debt service, a very small amount for $643. That was just for additional dollars were remaining in that fund after payment of the QZAB, and it went back to the capital outlay fund where it originally came from. The capital outlay increased, the revenues increased based on revenues that actually received, local capital improvement revenue, investment income, miscellaneous local revenue, and transfers in from debt were increased to reflect the actual amounts. The changes within the expenditures were adjustments for repairs, renovations, and purchases. Student Nutrition Services was reclassified to the correct function for actual receipts from the National School Lunch Act to the Summer Food Program. Revenue and expenditures were increased for Share Our Strength dollars received. The special revenue funds are used to account for the grants, and dollars were adjusted for grants received and changes to any of the grant budgets. There were no changes to the internal service funds. Other points of interest I'd like to call attention to is the fact that this year the district did not receive none of the school districts received lottery dollars, and even though we continue to receive the referendum dollars, I would like to clarify the fact that this in no way contributes to the general fund. These are for deferred maintenance projects only. Like Dr. Kemp said, we have no additional information on the CARES $2 when we're going to receive it, and the CARES dollars we have received to date have been for COVID-related expenditures and do not benefit the general fund either. Any update on the state of the fund balance and cash liquidity will be updated on the March 25th budget workshop. At this point, Stephanie will go over the fund balance information.
Good evening. In addition to the budget amendments and the monthly financial information, we also included a balance sheet which classifies assets, liabilities, and fund balance through January, a monthly fund balance for the general fund through January, and a monthly fund balance comparison for the same point in time, which is through January, from the prior fiscal year to the current fiscal year. We have 3 pie charts that contain expenses by function for the general fund for salaries, benefits, and then salaries and benefits in combination. And I feel like the most significant piece of information is the trend analysis, which is 3-year comparison of revenue expenditures with a graphical trend line and a section that includes comments that explain what the changes are and why they occurred. So he's actually, Pablo's got the balance sheet up right now. Again, it classifies assets, liabilities, and fund balance, but another important point with the balance sheet is you can actually measure liquidity, meaning the ability to pay our bills and pay our employees. And I just want to point out, if you look at the top 2 lines under assets, it is, and that's page 44 in your packets, by the way. If you add the cash equivalents, and investments together, that's about $290.2 million. When we project forward what we expect to get through the end of June in FEFP, and we subtract out what we expect to pay to our vendors through accounts payable and pay our employees through payroll, it still puts us in a negative cash position. And as Dr. Kemp said, that is projected to be negative mid to end of June. You can go to the next slide. Perfect. Okay, so I wanted to highlight, interestingly enough, on this slide, this is a comparison of fund balance for the same point in time to the prior fiscal year. The current fiscal year is actually shaded in yellow, or the solid line. The prior fiscal year has got the horizontal lines. This year, as of January, we're $14 million higher than the prior year at the same time. And the prior year at the same time, we had 3 paychecks in the month of January. Where this fiscal year, we had 3 paychecks in the month of December. So it shows you how, even though we're projecting a negative cash flow, there can be point-in-time effects to the fund balance. Okay, you can go to the next. The salary and benefit combination, I wanted to point this out because this expenditure shows, as it should, that the majority of expenditures are in the instructional function. We're at 67.8% of total expenditures for salary and benefits only. And I pulled last year to compare it. It is 67.1% in the prior year, so it's 67.8% this year, which shows that we're a little bit higher, and that would be attributed to the salary increases that were authorized the prior fiscal year that we're seeing the full effect of in this year. Okay, we can go to the next. Thank you. So the trend data starts on page 55, and I just wanted to kind of focus on the most significant changes. On page 57, on the state revenue, there is about a $50 million increase in FEFP, and that is attributed to an increase in charter school payments and a $39 million increase in the teacher salary allocation. I thought that was pretty significant, and we wanted to point that out. On page 58, for the local revenue, there was an increase of $9.8 million, and that's mainly associated with the difference between the increase in the ad valorem taxes and the decrease in some of the fee-based programs. On page 60 to 61, I combined salary and benefits together, and you can see that there was an increase of $28 million, 11.5 in salaries and 17 in benefits. And again, that's as we see the full year effect of the authorized salary increases last year happening in this year. And remember, this is just from July to January. On page 62, purchase services is kind of an odd combination of things in an account. It consists of professional, technical, travel, repairs, rental, charter school payments, and garbage and water and sewer. So it's an odd mix of accounts in there. But there was a decrease of $3.7 million overall, and that was really related to substitute teachers and rentals. Energy services on page 63, there was an increase of $2.1 million, and that was due to increase in utility rates. And on page 64, materials and supplies, decrease of $8.5 million, and mainly that was related to adopted, non-adopted, and county-adopted instructional materials. And on page 65, capital, there was a decrease of $5 million, and that was really related to the fact that we're mainly expending everything for renovations or remodeling in the capital funds where they should be instead of in the general fund. So we're going to continue to try to drill down and provide this information in a more detailed manner every board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eaton. And just so you know, the scheduled budget workshop for 325, we'll be going further in detail into the budget, kind of like we did in January. We'll be going further into the 2021 corrective action plans, where we are. We'll be able to give you an update at that time. We'll be able to give you an update on the strategies for 21-22. We will give you updates on the staff allocation processes and where we are with working with our principals in the schools. We had great meetings this week with principals. The chief of schools and our chief of transformation did great jobs working with the teams along with the regional superintendents. We'll hopefully be able to give you an update in March 25th. I'm looking forward to this one, to update on a CFO, on the CFO search and where we are with that. But the agenda will be sent to you ahead of time so we can get your input and so that we can provide, make sure that we cover any additional issues you would like to address when we have more time to discuss that in the workshop format. So that concludes the budget update, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you, Ms. Heaton. Thank you, Ms. Garcia and Dr. Kemp. I need a motion and a second to approve item C601. I have a motion by Member Snively. I have a second by Member Hahn. Any discussion? Okay, Member Snively, you're recognized.
So first, thank you for your presentation. Just for I could just be speaking for myself. When you are going through the report, it would be really helpful to reference the page numbers that you're on when you're speaking. So, and also it would help to keep up with the presentation that's being presented, because they were not quite keeping up with that. So as they were talking about one particular page, that we were stuck on the first page of the 3-year trends. So just as a for logistical purposes. The other thing I think that would also be helpful is page 20. It's 24. I think it's page 24. It's missing out of my paper stack here, but it's basically the. I always think it's helpful to make sure that we're focusing on the month end of the general fund. And make sure that we take a moment to look closely at that particular slide to see where we are with our general fund, as well as taking that extra time to, there it is, page 48 of the presentation, 48 of 66. What might also be helpful is right now I know we're only doing a previous year to this year, but I think that's a little bit of why the partially why the board may have not noticed the trend in the fund balance is because we're only looking at the previous year compared to the current year. And if we could have seen, and I'm not making an excuse, I'm just saying that this would be helpful information just for, not only for us, but probably for the public too, is to see the trend over time, maybe the last 3 to 5 years of the general fund each month, because then we could really see that there's a trend, you know, going down. It'd be very clear for anyone who's looking at this to be able to see that the trend is going downward. The other thing too, I wouldn't mind seeing a trend in is on page 51, which is the general fund benefit expenditures. I think it would be helpful to see, well, actually I take that back because that's really on page 61. So the pie chart that we're looking at, just to confirm, is basically the information that's presented on 61, except 61 gives us a 3-year trend as opposed to just the 1-year pie chart, right? Is that how make sure I'm reading it that way?
Correct.
Okay.
And actually the pie chart is by function, where the trend analysis is by object.
Oh, okay. So
purpose of spend versus what you're buying.
Right, okay. So it might be helpful to have that 3-year trend on the pie chart as well. And then the question I had, because there is a question in here, I promise,
Okay,
is that on page 61, does that include the state funding for increasing newer teacher salaries? Is that in here as well? And that's why it's going up from 184 to 201? Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Snively. Member Vaughn, then I have a few questions. You're recognized, Member Vaughn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had 2 kind of questions. When we had gone over this, I had questions on our revenue page of the general budget, line item 3310. And I think that when we're talking about our budget workshop, one of the good things to include in it would be something like this, where at the beginning of the budget, the state gives us a certain amount of money that's to be allocated for scholarships or charter schools or whatnot that we have to actually use when we're balancing our budget. However, throughout the year, they can at any time take that money away from us, causing a shortfall, which if you notice, that's $26 million that was suddenly taken out of our general funds, which luckily it seems like we were able to recoup from our property taxes and juggle some money around. But I think we need to have a conversation about how when we start out our budget, we have so much money that we count on that we have to budget within our general fund that says we're going to get it from the state. But throughout the year, based on charter school enrollment or McKay scholarships or other factors that pass through our budget, that money is taken away. Because if we didn't have the taxes to mitigate this, that would be another $26 million shortfall in our budget. And I think we need to understand that and talk about that and have the public understand that as well. The next question I have is, as we kind of talk about how salary increases have affected our budget right now, and we're talking about instructional staff, I would really like to see the breakdown of not just salary increases at our teacher level, but at our district level, any salary increases that we've done within the last year, at people who work at the district, to understand how that's also, when we're talking about salary increases, it's not just instructional staff, it's salary increases across the board and what that looks like. So we get an idea that it's not just staff salary increases that are driving up our reoccurring monthly costs. It could also be district or internal raises that we've given as well. So when we have that conversation, I'd like to make sure we have the whole thing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. I just had a few questions. My remarks on page 56 of 66, and I just want to share that I do like the trend data. Definitely the comparisons help, but it does bring out a few questions. The idea of the federal through the state and the decrease from 2019 to 2021, there was a law that was changed, I believe. It was the Medicaid, and correct me if I'm wrong. What particular law changed? And I have my notes here. It says increase in Medicaid. Can you share maybe some clarification on that, Susie?
So last year, there was a change in this, I believe it's CMS, they actually were not giving us as many dollars or just allowing expenditures that were previously allowable. And this year, they have gone back to allowing those previously unallowed expenditures. So they are paying us some of those things they disallowed, and that's why you're going to start seeing an increase in the Medicaid.
Okay, and those are important, points. The other important point that we should, certain things happen by law or by, just by the way of work, if you will, such as the freeze that we imposed, will affect the comparisons from 2019 to 2021. An example, page 6266, I believe there was an increase, I'm looking at it, from the purchase services, and I know you mentioned it, Stephanie, from 153 mil to 178. But I also wrote down in my notes it's a result of a spending freeze, but it's going up. Can you share, is it the most obvious thing it's going for PPG or
no, it actually went
causation?
From 182 to 178, so it actually you did see a decrease in it, and it's really based on the spending freeze. We have seen a reduction in spending.
So okay.
If you look,
I'm reading it, and it looks like it's gone up.
look at 2020 to 2021.
Yeah, I was looking at 2019 to 2021. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay, well then that makes sense. And last page 64 to 64 of 66, materials and supplies again. It's decreased, and am I correct? Is that due to the spending freeze?
I believe some of it is due to the spending freeze. Instructional materials did go down.
Okay, all right. So my point would be, my suggestion, when we get to iconic type of hiccups that affect the trend, wouldn't it be nice if we can say the causation was mainly the freeze, or the causation was mainly the change of law of Medicaid, or the causation was increase of teacher salaries? So if we have it as simplistic as that, and of course you could have the details, as you should, that would I think, help the board members interpret data and give us, a little bit more talking points to share with our constituents. So I think the special called, it's not special called, but the fiscal retreat that we're going to have will definitely share and highlight those situations. But we're trying to get educated, and I appreciate the work that you've done. I believe Member Snively may have a remark. Superintendent Davis, did you want to? Oh, Ms. Combs. Oh, I'm sorry. Member Combs, you are recognized.
I just had a few questions. Overall, when we're looking at an employee, I would love to see what the FRS and the benefits look like total. I think when some people think it's a salary, they don't realize. I would love to see what the overall amount that we spend on each, employee that works for our district.
So overall, the benefits are based on the person's salary. There is a free health plan that the district pays for, which 12,000 employees participate in, but we're hoping to have a better breakdown when we have the budget workshop.
Great. I'd like to look at that and the overall cost of that. And I know that went out to, we looked at that again, right, recently? The other thing is, when I see that we didn't receive the lottery funds, I'm just curious, are other places like charter schools, do they receive those funds?
We don't receive them, they don't receive them.
Nobody receives them. I think that is really, I think most of the community thinks that we do receive the lottery funds, and I think it's really important that we look at that. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is, when I have spent some time looking at the Gibson report and the Council of Great City Schools, the Gibson report did look at district admin, and they did think that we were top heavy. I do see that the Council of Great City Schools did not look at that. As we look at the cuts, I really think it's very important that we look, and I've said this many times, vocally, I really think we need to look at the top down. We really need to look at what that looks like, what it looked like a year ago for district admin, and what it looks like right now. And I would really like to make sure that we do that, include that in the district workshop, looking at a year ago, not just the salaries, but the actual number of employees that we had and what it looks like as far as the school side as well. Because I think that's really important for teachers to see that and to know that everybody is really having to take those cuts.
Thank you, Member Combs. And Member Snively, you are recognized, and then we'll get into the vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just kind of piggybacking on what Member Combs was saying on page 61, I think is what you were referring to, just where it has the employee salary and benefits combined. It would be nice to divide that. Is that possible to divide that out, or is it on page 61 to do one trend analysis for pay and the other one for benefits, or is it because of one depends on the other? Is that why?
The trend analysis is divided out. In my explanation, I combined them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for answering that.
But Ms. Snively, just for clarification, because there were some great questions about what is the average approximate cost for benefits. Depending upon the employee's salary, you're looking at about 32% added for FRS, FICA, all the things we're required to do. So depending upon the employee's salary, we always factor 32% in on top of that for the particular additional cost associated and benefits to that employee.
Thank you. That's good for everyone to know that it's an average of about 32% on top of the salary expenditures. And then the final question I have is on page. I have a little concern with our energy services going up, by the way. I'm trying to figure that one out because we're doing all these things to. So maybe you could answer that question about energy services and why our expenses are going up in energy services. But then also my last question was regarding, if I can get down to the page, I apologize. The page 64, if we could do a little deeper dive into the capital expenditure decrease, which I'm not complaining. I like to see expenditures going down, but what I'm concerned about is that there were decreases in things like library books, AV materials, furniture, fixtures and equipment, computer hardware, things of that nature that may directly impact classrooms and school sites, and what increases exactly were in technology-related capital fixtures. If you could get a little more detailed on what those capital fixtures are, and then, or just a better explanation, I guess, of that. I don't know if you have that, Mr. Superintendent or Dr. Kemp, or.
We'll get into it. I'm sorry. We'll dive into it a little bit deeper, but a lot of the devices have been paid out of the COVID funds, so that's part of the decreases. Some of that technology is paid out of the COVID funds because they are COVID related.
Mm-hmm. Which is great. So, but then also the decreases in the library books and AV materials. I'd like to know a little bit about that, and maybe you come back
Yes, ma'am.
with that later, but I'm curious about that and the energy expenses. Thank you.
Excellent questions, Board and Member Snively. We're going to go right now to the voting. Please vote when your lights appear. It is unanimous. Thank you, Board. And now we're going to go into the agenda item 607, invitation to bid. And Superintendent Davis, would you highlight this item?
Yes, ma'am. Through the chair, this is a invitation to bid for all of our truck, bus, and vehicle parts for the organization. This is, internally, while we were asking for the bid to come out to identify, companies that will provide us the parts. We go out and we submit the bid. The bid comes into us. We identified 9 vendors that can be able to serve our yellow fleet and our white fleet. They provide all the parts as they transition in. We do all the maintenance to all of our buses, our school buses, and our white fleet as well. And this is overall, it's a 1-year agreement that looks at providing parts such as our grease shocks, clusters, lamps, air filters, lamps, and also shocks, and the list goes on. But this is a up to $3 million to our general fund. The reason we're bringing it to the board from a discussion perspective is to make sure that anything that we spend on our general fund that the public truly understands and knows, and also for the board to interact with as well. But we say up to $3 million. We may not spend all the way up, but it's been a trend historically, annually, that we spend that type of money because we have close to 1,000 buses on the road every single day.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis. I need a motion and a second to approve this item. I have a motion from Member Combs, a second from Member Perez. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote when your lights are on. Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you, board members. At this particular time, we're going to go to board comments. And board members, now you have 5 minutes each. Should you want to show one of the, oh, I wonder who's going to show a video. Oh, okay. Well, Member Gray will, so there. Okay, so we have in the lineup, we have Member Hahn, Member Perez, Member Washington, Member Combs, Member Snively, and Member Gray. Whoops. Oh, after Member Snively, Member Vaughn, then Member Gray.
All right.
Begin.
We have a full board today. This is great. We have lots of. I know.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let me get going then, my friend.
Oh, boy, that should have been the brakes. Okay, go ahead, man.
So I do want to share a few things that I've been working on out in the community that is benefiting our students. One is I'm really excited that Monday I'm going to kick off, finally, the STEM Spring Break Camp. If you recall, this camp was developed last year with the Urban League and Larry Plank here in the district, and we were ready to kick it off last spring break, and we got shut down with COVID. So that, 3 days before the camp, we were on the phone calling parents, apologizing, and we had a lot of disappointed kids for the Rockets and Robot STEM Camp. That sounds fun, right? So this year we're kicking it off. We got a second chance. The Urban League came back to the table. They're supporting it through resources and funding. Larry Planks has a grant that's supporting this as well. And it will be at Madison Middle School. It's for rising fifth graders. And for some of the kids, it will be their first opportunity to engage in STEM activities, and for some it's an extension of what they've already been doing. But either way, I'm really excited because it hopefully will ignite their interest in STEM, whether they want to pursue a STEM career later on down the road or another type of career. The fundamental concepts and approaches used in STEM apply to a broad spectrum of careers. So it's a really great opportunity. It's 5 days. It includes transportation, lunch, snacks, hands-on activities from 9 to 2:30. We still have spots left, so if you're a parent out there with a fifth grader and you're interested, contact me. I'll get you the registration form, and we'll get you on board. So excited about that. Also want to share 2 dates, times, and locations for the next 2 early childhood literacy fairs. We're kicking off summer reading. And I'm really excited about that because the literacy fairs not only will provide resources to parents and connect them to partners in our community, but I provide each child who comes to the fair with a free home library, so they will have books to read this summer right in their own home. And this fair travels around the district. So these last 2 fairs are going to be in May, and one will be in East Tampa. Both are drive-through events because of COVID. One is in East Tampa. It'll be in the Sly Foster parking lot. It's very similar to the parking lot at Monroe Middle, so cars can enter and exit. And it's a nice flow for the fair. And the other is going to be in Plant City, May 8th at the Sadie Gibbs Martini Community Center. Is it Martin or Martini now? And the Foster Sly will be May 22nd. We have so many of our community partners returning for both fairs they have committed to, and I'll announce those partners at the next board meeting and more details about those 2 fairs. And then you're probably wondering, how is she going to have enough books for these literacy fairs? Well, let me tell you. We're going to have another virtual book drive in April, and we are going to spring into reading. So I will share those flyers at the next board meeting, and the virtual book fair is a great opportunity. We had so many people in our community donate last time. We raised $7,000 worth of books. It's a partnership I have with Follett. They create a landing page. I'll share a link. You can go to the website and you can donate a $3 book. You can purchase a $3 book, or you can purchase many, many books. And all the books will get shipped to me at the district, and then we distribute them at the fair. So we had so many generous people in our community. Follett gives me 40% back on every book sold to purchase even more books. So they have been an incredible partner around this work, and that, folks, is how we get the books for the fairs. So thank you, Ms. Gray. I don't have a video. Next time.
We will look forward to it, and we want to thank Member Hahn for her work with literacy, and that workshop this morning made a lot of sense to every one of us. Thank you, Member Hahn, for your efforts towards this very, very important aspect of education. Now we have Member Washington. Oh, I'm sorry, we have Member Perez, then Member Washington. Just want to keep you on your feet.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, last week I attended a 2-day conference on Medicaid, and it was a very interesting conference. One of the things that it did kind of suggest was to have a parent advisory group. Superintendent, do we have a parent advisory group currently for Medicaid?
Through the chair, no ma'am, we do not have that currently within our district.
Okay, can we look to get something like that together? What it suggested is that with the parents in an advisory group, with our managing officers, that they speak about the needs of their children that we may not know of. And also it talked about taking the attendance of our ESC students on the buses and conducting trainings for those who are taking the attendance. It spoke about ways to collect data and keeping that data, and also looking at the student attendance. It talked about dollars for autistic students, about the nursing services, and it even spoke to the review of benchmarks in the nearby communities. It was just so thorough. It was an incredible conference. Also, the fact that Medicaid dollars pays for multi-sensory therapeutic playgrounds for our students, and just different equipment for our students that Medicaid dollars pays for, auditorial, braille equipment, just different. 2 days worth of conversation about this and how to bill appropriately, for mental health, just an array of different services that Medicaid dollars, brings into our schools. And also having a board member sit on the managing officers' meetings for Medicaid. Do any of the board members sit on?
Through the chair, I'm not certain. I don't think so, and I don't know. I need to know more about it. I don't know if they had if there's a capture. Do they capture the workshop virtually the way we can review and kind of identify what protocols they've had, what conversations, what what actual state statute allows for them to be able to do versus us and those types of things. Tracy, you anything?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Yes, ma'am, we are working with Verna Hurley, and she was also a participant in that workshop. And so she and I have already talked about some of the great things that you heard, and so we're looking forward to trying to put some of those things in place.
Perfect, thank you. And also, I'm going to be putting together a spring break wellness. It's called Plant the Seeds to Enhance Your Well-Being. Increasing access to mental health care is important. It's equally important to challenge the culture of silence and stigma surrounding mental health in our minority communities, or schools. During the week of March 14 through 20, our district will have a social media post each day to enhance the well-being of our students. It is important that Hillsborough County School joins the dialogue to eradicate the fear and shame surrounding mental illness and seek mental health treatment. We all must emphasize the importance of well-being strategies and interventions for the students and families. As we recognize the importance of mental health, we must also acknowledge the disparities in access to care, the stigma in mental illness, and the sometimes lack of cultural sensitive practices among minority communities. As a district, we are continuing to advance race equality and inclusion to eliminate barriers for mental health awareness and stability. Please join our Spring Break a Week of Wellness community call Wednesday, March 10 from 5 to 6 via Facebook Live as we discuss proactive ways to support the mental health of our students and promote emotional wellness as we enter the spring season. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Perez. Your efforts with mental health are just so needed, and we appreciate that so much. Next, we're going to get into recognizing Member Washington. And good evening, Member Washington. What's new?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's always exciting to have something new. Okay, before I get started, something just happened to us about 6 hours ago. Something really good. You want to say it for me, Mrs. McRae? I want to let you say this for me.
Yes, it wasn't 6 hours ago. It happened on Friday, and the Supervisor of Elections, Craig Latimer, donated 1,400 iPads, mini iPads that are actually refurbished from the election so we can get them into the hands of students. This happens to magically coincide with our Mayan Spring Reading Challenge. And so we are able to get iPads in the hands of kids so that they can get on a digital reading platform. And on Thursday, I will be joined by Ms. Hahn, who will be joining me at DeSoto. We're going to kick this off at DeSoto Elementary while we give some of these iPads out to students. We are encouraged by Mayan, who will be donating a laptop computer to the highest reader in every single transformation school over spring break. So this is huge, the double effort between Craig Latimer and Supervisor of Elections, Hillsborough Education Foundation, and Mayan. We are so excited to have this partnership.
And I'm really excited for you to have it because we have 22 transformational schools, so we should have quite a bit ourselves. Are you ready, Mr. Pablo? Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the Historical Response Committee. We had a meeting with about the Ridgewood Cemetery. And I want to applaud Mr. Chris Farkas and his staff for doing a wonderful job bringing that together at King High School on the campus. Okay?
That's what I was trying to do is to restore the connection, and that was my main, before I did any kind of conceptual sketches, it was understanding the history of the burial ground and how I can restore that connection. It was a combination of a lot of religious themes and some symbols like the dove with the wings. So that was one of the main things I stuck with when I started to sketch, is how do I take the wings of the doves and bridge that connection that was lost? The base, the pedestal is everything is divisible by 7, which is like kind of a heavenly number that represents perfection or completeness. So it's good to have that connection where students can have that kind of alone time or contemplation time, once it's given, that they can step out and then see it as something greater than themselves. And it's interesting that they do have a history or this burial is on campus that can connect them to the past.
We had a really good meeting today. A lot came out. I think Mr. McCants did a great job presenting to the committee and to some of the community people and the district personnel how he wants to build this, memorialize these individuals. And I'm just kind of, I want it to happen. We want to work hard. We want to work with the community. But now no decision was made today. We just wanted input and then moving to the next step. So I think we accomplished that today, and we'll be back in the near future and put out surveys and see what people think about it. Thank you. And we continue to promise to show the highest level of respect for individuals who are buried in the cemetery and their distance. Last month, a local architect, and that was Mr. Gerald McCants Architecture, came to the committee meeting to present the rendering of the memorial. He designed a walkable memorial that represents the wings of a dove, outreach hands, symbolizing peace, souls released from its earthbound duty. We are gathering feedback now from the community and the committee members. Last spring, the state legislature approved a funding journal to appropriation bill for Hillsborough County Public Schools to memorialize Ridgewood Cemetery. We are grateful the process is moving forward so that we can memorialize the individual buried at Ridgewood, something that has been long overdue. So we're in the process, and we're going to be receiving information and suggestions from the community. Now, we had a great time at the Strawberry Festival. We really did. We enjoyed Sue, myself, Mama Snively. I call her Mama Snively. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And Mrs. Gray. And the reason why we said Mama Snively, because she was handing us the beads while we were passing them out. She made sure that we had enough beads to be passing out. But it was a great event. We got a chance. Dardale had a wonderful band. They performed. We had Plant City. I think we had Plant City High School. We had Dardale, Plant City High School, and Strawberry Crest was there. So we truly enjoyed it. Had a chance to meet a lot of people, and we had a great time. So, is that my 5 minutes? Oh, man. No, okay. Thank you.
I warned everybody we were going to have a great board meeting, and this is what goes on. We have some great...
Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you for sharing. And Member Combs, followed by Member Snively.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I think today we had a lot of public comment about masks, and I probably received an equal, email saying we need to wear masks. I just want people to know that every Friday I'm on the Council of Great City Schools, and I go through and I Zoom every week, and I don't think people realize how many schools around the country are closed, and they will remain closed in the fall. My niece and nephew go to California, or in California, and there is no end in sight that they are going to go to school. So I think we need to really look at, instead of what is not happening, what is happening in our district. First of all, we do have that choice. Kids can go to school. Also, we are finally able for all of our teachers to be vaccinated. And I think we need to focus on those great things that are happening in our state and in our district. Also today at noon, I was on a Zoom call with Representative Bartleman, and there were many school board members around the state that are saying, please hold us harmless for testing. I want our parents, our teachers to reach out to Tallahassee and say, this is unprecedented times with the pandemic, and we need to make sure that testing, that schools do not receive scores. We know there's so much pressure already going on with our teachers, our administrators, our custodians. Everybody has done everything they can this year. Please hold us harmless with testing. We're not saying we shouldn't test. I mean, I would love to say that, but as we test, please hold us harmless. And those are really important things for our community to advocate for. And some of the great things, I would like to thank Mr. Ayers for CEO of the day. I was able to go to Hunters Green Elementary and be with Principal Holt and be able to see her amazing staff and to see what is happening every day in schools. I just had such a wonderful day doing that. Also, I wanted to recognize the STEM Fair, the 2021 STEM Fair, and all the hard work from our students that participated and did well in the STEM Fair. And I wanted to thank TVAE for the countless hours that they put forth to create that video. I did post that on my social media. It's a 2-hour video that really recognizes all the schools and students. This is the first year we had to do it virtually, and our team, our administrators, our teachers, our students, our parents really stepped up and made sure that was a very special, special moment. And finally, as I go out to the schools, I want to say it's incredible, the access classes, the way we meet our special needs students and what we do, as well as our behavioral support. Many of the schools that I go to, that was probably one of the most surprising things for me as a teacher, that I used to just see my school, and now going to so many schools and seeing the unbelievable support that we have for our special needs students. I can think of there's so many, but Citrus Park Elementary, how we support the behavioral support as well as the access and everything our teachers do, and our paraprofessionals and the whole school. I just want to say thank you to everyone for all that you do.
Thank you, Member Combs, and indeed, Citrus Park is the #1 ESE. They do a great job. Member Snively?
Thank you. I'm going to try and do this in 5 minutes. Here we go. So I wanted to recognize Boyette Creek, the high school, the academy, excuse me. They had 9 students and 2 teachers who were recently recognized by NASA for creating an app for the surface of the moon. And it was pretty cool. So I got the opportunity to go see it in action at Bell Creek and meet the students and the teachers who helped them get there. And they're going into to further in the competition for right now they're a finalist, and they're the only Florida school in the United States. So Team Pardus stands for, Pardus is Latin for Panthers, which is their mascot at the school. So let's all wish them congratulations just for getting as far as they've gotten, and it was really impressive. These kids are like smart, like really smart, right? The high school forum was really great, even though we had to do it virtually. I thought it still went really well. Like it flowed, and the students. I wish we had more time with the students. It just felt like we could have probably been there for 2 or 3 more hours, listening to the students about the concerns that they had and giving us suggestions. And I thought that was really great. I don't know if there's a way we can extend it next time for a little bit longer, but that was very, very meaningful. Thank you also for CEOs in the schools. We had every elementary school by I think by the day or two before the event, every elementary school was represented with a CEO. I want to personally thank Mrs. Mobley at Pinecrest Elementary School for allowing me to spend the whole day there. Kristen Davis for Virtual Day on the Hill that was really great. Even though that was a Zoom as well, I thought that went off without a hitch, and we had a chance to really all an opportunity to talk about what's important to us as a board and our appropriation bills, and that was really great. Thank you to the American Heart Association for Go Red for Women, also a virtual event, but awesome. Mr. Basham at Rogers Middle School, Mr. Davis and I had the opportunity to go visit. Normally, the students go travel to the Holocaust Museum in St. Petersburg as a field trip to go learn about the Holocaust, but unfortunately, because of COVID, they couldn't do that. So they brought the Holocaust Museum to their classroom, and we got to go. It was like a hands-on exhibit for the middle schoolers to come in, and it was interactive, and I was very, very impressed. So thank you, Ms. Jarvis and Ms. Faraccio, I think that's how you say her last name, so I apologize for the teachers that put it together. 3DE live session with Richard George and Junior Achievement. Chamberlain High School had a great session. Thank you, Ms. Gray, for being on there. 3DE is a great program for our high school students. I hope we can expand it and get into more high schools. And thank you to Paul Davis from the Strawberry Festival for the board retreat and the Director's Lounge and the parade yesterday. Yesterday, it feels like a week ago already. was yesterday. That was great. And then two other things. Thank you, board members, for supporting the dental sealant program. It was on the consent agenda earlier today. I want to thank our partners at Suncoast Community Healthcare Systems, Tampa Family Health Centers, and More Health, and the Greater Tampa Bay Oral Health Coalition. We've been doing this for almost a decade now, getting into doing preventative dental services, the sealant program in our schools, and it's so important for students who don't have access to dental care. It's a really important prevention program that we continue to do, so thank you for that. And then lastly, almost lastly, volunteers in the school who are vaccinated. I mentioned this to Mr. Davis previously. What I noticed spending the whole day at Pinecrest Elementary, as well as visiting other schools, is they are really struggling without their volunteer support. You don't realize how much volunteer support and how important it is to support our students on a daily basis when all of a sudden it's gone and the volunteers are not there at school anymore. And so if there's a way that we could allow vaccinated individuals back into our schools with all the other safety precautions, I don't see why we can't allow that. I know it's a little harder to manage, and it's probably, got to do a little bit of documentation there, but I think I know volunteers who would be very willing to prove that they've been vaccinated so they can get back into the schools with their students and volunteer. And I know a lot of retired teachers are chomping at the bit to get in there as well who've been vaccinated. So and then teachers who teach hybrid, wow. Okay, so teachers who are teaching e-learning and brick and mortar at the same time, we have to have a conversation about what we're going to do next year, because that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. We have got to slowly phase out the e-learning, I think, and go either virtual or go brick and mortar, because the e-learning with that altogether is killing our teachers. So I hope that we can have a conversation at some point before it's too late to get closer to decide what you want to do for the next school year, because it's just not sustainable as it is right now for some of our teachers. And so I look forward to having that conversation with the board, and have a happy spring break. Enjoy, get some rest. Everybody, you too, Mr. Davis. Chill. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Snively. Great. Great events. Yes, you did get it all in 5 minutes. It's good respiratory practice, and I will get you in training mode soon. And now we're going to go to Member Vaughn and then Member Gray. Member Vaughn, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I actually wanted to echo some of what Member Combs said. Last week I had the privilege of going to William Peters, which is one of our exceptional student centers, and just amazing work by our teachers and paraprofessionals, jumping through hoops, spending their own money, pouring their hearts and souls into our most fragile students. It's just so heartwarming to see that kind of dedication from our teachers and staff, and what they do to support our students and make sure they excel. Then attached to that is Dover Elementary, which has the highest migrant population in the district. And again, just to see the dedication of every single employee in that school and their dedication to that population was just amazing. And to see how that population is thriving, and to hear some tips that we can do to help be more supportive of that population. And I just wanted to echo Ms. Combs, Member Combs' sentiments of thanking our teachers and our school staffs in these schools every day, and how much we appreciate you. Also, we've been getting a lot of emails from parents and from teachers regarding the budget cuts coming up. Really trying to emphasize how much our teachers and school staff have done during this pandemic, and to make sure that we are being as surgical, to use other words, as we possibly can be in these cuts. And I just want to say I haven't had the bandwidth to answer all of your emails yet, but I appreciate them, and I want you to know your concerns are heard, and that we all are, well, I can't speak for the whole board, but I believe that we all are definitely having those conversations and dedicated to that, and I don't want you to think that your emails are falling on deaf ears. So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone in our district who's working so hard to get us through these multiple challenges that we face, and how much I appreciate it. So that was it. I don't think I used even 3 of my minutes, so there you go.
We'll put the addition. Wow.
Winner.
Yeah, I think I might have to get the message. So one of the things, and I have to tell you, no easy path for me. I have one of the things about the Strawberry Festival that we did with the parade that I'll never forget, and you all can appreciate because you have kids or grandkids, and you see the look of their faces as we were giving out the beads. There was, and this, Member Perez, you would appreciate, there was so much happiness, glowing appreciation. You can tell the kids, it was like a dose of wellness every time we looked at them and gave them, an act of kindness, which translates into beads. And I think I just wanted to thank Mayor Lott and Yvonne Fry, and who did I miss? Member Snyder, who else did you say? There was another. Paul Davis. I also want to thank our Teacher of the Year, Laura Meehan, and our Ida Baker, Diversity Employee of the Year, Sharday Duffy, and our Employee of the Year, Michael Helton, for joining us. It was a great experience, but I didn't get a chance to put that on Facebook. The looks of the children's eyes and expression were so meaningful. Now, a word about migrant programs. Carol Mayo, she's going to be a superstar because I think we have a video. Pablo, I asked, and we work with the Hispanic population on a monthly basis, and thank you, Monica Vera Tirado, for representing them so well. How many families do you serve? I asked Carol Mayo, and she said 2,600. And that's just enrolled in pre-K. And then another 3,600 grades through 12, including students who are out of school until the age of 22. The point is, our migrant population is needy, and they are very much needing to have the representation. And Miss Mayo did a famous NPR radio show. We're going to show that. Before that, I also want to say Melissa Morgado, Bilingual Leader of the Year Award. This is the entire nation, and it's awarded by Bilingual Vida. So we have some superstars that are addressing our high needs Hispanic population. And Pablo, if you can give a little video on the migrant and the famous national NPR radio. I'm not sure what this is going to look like, but I'm sure he did something great.
Carol Mayo heads the Migrant Education Program in Hillsborough County. She told me last year that convincing undocumented parents to feel safe about sending their kids to school was increasingly hard.
They just don't want their name on anything for fear of being deported or found or whatever it is. So I think that's why our numbers have gone down.
That was before schools shut down in March and children started learning from home in an effort to slow the spread of COVID-19. The number of students from migrant farm worker families enrolled in Hillsborough County Public Schools has been in decline for the past 5 years. But compared to this time last year, the program has lost nearly 300 students.
It's larger. It's larger than expected.
I talked to Mayo again in December. She says it's hard to say exactly how much of this year's decline is due to the coronavirus, but she says COVID-19 outbreaks in the migrant community during the summer surge made many fearful of sending their children back when school buildings reopened for in-person classes in the fall.
In the summertime, these migrant farmers and workers that were either still working or didn't travel because of the pandemic, and they all live in the same neighborhoods, there was a big breakout of illness, actually COVID, parents getting infected with COVID. And so they themselves experienced the sickness. And so when school started, they were truly afraid to send their children to school.
Mayo says the pandemic pushed this already vulnerable community to the edge.
They don't have the transportation. They don't have health care. They have to make appointments or get up at the crack of dawn and go wait in line to get their child seen at the health department.
And, there are the realities of our student population that, of course, every board member appreciates and that we will serve in an equitable fashion. And last, the Career Sauce Summer Youth Program provided our students ages 16 through 24 with 123 jobs for our students during the summer, $12 an hour. And I want to thank Superintendent Davis for capturing this initiative, and Daniela Simic and Scott Brooks for moving this forward. Every job for our youth has such great dividends, and again, we're serving the needs of our children throughout the school year. Board members, I want to thank you so much for all the great things you're doing, and it's just so exciting to hear all the developments. Thank you, staff, and listen to this one. So that, there, yeah, that's one of the buttons that, if things get tough, you can press it. Adjourned.
He's the only person who loves me. He gives me gifts, money, anything I want.
How could someone who treats me better than my own family be so bad?
They make me feel beautiful and confident instead of alone and depressed.